Blog Talk Radio.
Here we go.
Capitalist Radio.
Capitalist Radio.
I am your host, the man they call Ghost.
The badass of business.
Give him capitalism or give him death.
That's it. Period.
Broadcasting from his Skylight office studios in beautiful downtown Austin, Texas.
You sound fruitier than a box of Fruit Loops, for Christ's sake.
And now, he'll take it from here. Your host, the prognosticator of prognosticators, the man they call
Ghost.
How's it going, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. This is episode number 299. That's right, folks, episode number 299, the eve of 300 episodes. So, folks, spread it around like wildfire that True Capitalist Radio isn't affected in the house, folks, all right? I mean, we got all kinds of buttons right next to the player, right in front of your face right there. All kinds of Facebook like buttons and retweet this buttons and share this buttons. Use and abuse those buttons, baby, all right? It's just a freaking click, for Christ's sake. And secondly, folks, we need your help to let everybody know that we are live every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. blogtalkradio.com/ghost is the official website of the True Capitalist Radio Show. blogtalkradio.com/ghost. And if you haven't already done so, folks, please follow me on Twitter. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. All one word, no goddamn underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. Now that we've gotten all that out of the way, folks, I want to thank you for tuning in with me. It is a Taco Tuesday edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. The only reason I didn't put it in the description is because I have a feeling. Well, let me tell you, you've been listening to the show for the past couple of episodes, for Christ's sake. I got a little bit of a damn feeling that these damn internet cyber vermin out here are going to try to turn this into a trans-testicle Tuesday or something of that nature. So, that's why I'm saying I don't know. I'm going to remain faithful to the broadcast. I know yesterday I kind of left in a little bit of a hissy fit in episode number 298, and I just want to apologize to you folks out here. I am here today, so we're just going to get right into it, all right? Now, folks, I don't know if y'all noticed, but today's stock market all across the globe, markets are starting to turn into the green, and I'd like to caution every potential capitalist investor out here from thinking that the worst is already blown over, all right? I'm telling you this right now. This is only the beginning. I know that people think that I'm a little bit of a gloom and doom type of a bear investor at this point in time. Folks, I'm a realist investor. I'm a capitalist, all right? I want to make money. I want to make long-term gains, even amidst the most turbulent of economic times. And that's the whole purpose of being a capitalist. You got to be smart. You understand that? You got to be smart about this stuff. Now, folks, I caution every capitalist investor from entertaining the idea that the equities markets are at a bottom. Now, the only thing that's fueling all this is because, like I've been suggesting for the past several shows, the investment community as a whole no longer understands the fundamentals of financial investment. I mean, they're running this show because they monopolize the whole damn thing thanks to our governments. But I'm talking about the mutual fund managers, the hedge fund managers, the big money managers. They're the ones that are in control of the equities market. And right now, just by looking at all the positivity in the equities markets across the globe, these people are trying to curb the hysteria by artificially propping up this equities market and pretending that the worst is past us, in my personal opinion. Now, I've talked about this, I believe, last show, that the Dow Jones Industrials at these levels, the index average, is just way blown out of proportion, all right? I've suggested that the true value at this point in time, this is based upon earnings, upon growth, upon a variety of different factors in the generality of the majority of companies in the Dow Jones Industrials. I believe that the index average should be, at this point in time, somewhere between 10 to 12,000 points. And I'm telling you, it's coming soon, folks. I'm telling you this right now. Brexit is not the cause of anything. It is just the catalyst into the financial uncertainty of what we are about to approach ourselves in. So I strongly advise folks not to even entertain the idea that the equities markets are at somewhat of a bottom here. I just personally don't believe it. I believe that this is more posturing by the individual hedge fund managers and mutual fund managers that basically control the volatility in the stock markets today. And I've said this time and time again, if you are a Trump supporter or on the Trump train, I would advise you to please tweet at Donald Trump and ask him, will he lift the $25,000 minimum to day trade so that working Americans can take advantage of this type of volatility in the market, so they can obtain liquidity through another source? I think it's unbelievably disgusting, and you want to talk about monopolistic elitist, to have this ridiculous law that you have to have $25,000 to partake in day trading in America today. All right? I mean, that punishes nobody but the average everyday American that could participate in day trading in this volatile market to obtain liquidity so that they can have extra income, whatever the case might be. So I strongly advise folks that are capitalists, strongly advise folks that are on the Trump train, tweet at Donald Trump so that he can get an idea that there is enough pull for this idea for him to suggest removing that whole law that you have to have $25,000 in your brokerage account so that you can day trade or high frequency trade or whatever you want to refer to it as. But once again, folks, the markets are up today, all right? The Dow Jones is up 269.48 points on the day today, a percentage increase of 1.57% on the day, closing out the Dow Jones Industrial at 17,409.72 points for the Dow Jones Industrials. Once again, don't read much positivity into this. If you were a day trader and you saw the futures this morning, the futures foretold that these investors believe, whether it's wishful thinking or whether they're trying to control the market, to push it forth for more positivity, to lure more investment by, you know how these look at all the damn freaking commercials for investment companies and financial companies, for Christ's sake. I mean, all they got to do is just call up people on their client list and say, hey, look, the market's good, you see, this is the time to buy. And then once their clients look on the freaking board out here and see positivity, they're going to be like, oh, wow, I'm under some really financial uncertainty. I mean, if you say this is a great time to go ahead and go in, let's do it. I mean, this is why they're doing this crap. I'm telling you, man. So don't believe the hype. Do not believe the hype. Let's go to the S&P 500, shall we? It was also on the positive side today. It increased 35.55 points. Percentage increase of 1.78% on the day, closing out the S&P 500 at 2,036.09 points on the day for the S&P. Once again, folks, we talked about how Moody's credit rating basically downgraded its AAA rating. I'm talking about the S&P index as a whole. All right, they downgraded the credit rating of the S&P index, or the financial rating of the S&P index, from a AAA rating to a AA. And we talked about how yesterday the S&P 500 flirted with below 2,000 index composite. I mean, that's pretty serious business. I mean, good God. once again, folks, let's excuse me. Let's get to the NASDAQ, because I've also suggested that the NASDAQ is completely bloviated, for Christ's sake. All right, completely. All right, I mean, I have no idea. I mean, this reminds me of the 90s. I keep telling you this, folks. I mean, the 90s, it made stock pickers out of morons. I'm not joking. There was just, everything was just going up, especially in the tech sector, for Christ's sake. It was ridiculous. All right? I mean, back then, man, you could buy an IPO for like $25. You could hold it for like 3 months, and before you know it, that damn IPO went from like 25 to $80 plus, man. I mean, it was that damn gravy back in the boom of the 1990s in the NASDAQ tech sector. But I feel that that particular type of ridiculous investment fervor is happening. And you have to blame, folks, in my personal opinion, the venture capitalists, the people that are funding these ridiculous tech ventures and infusing them with ridiculous amounts of cash so that the investment community can justify, having such high stock prices on these goddamn tech stocks. I mean, what did I read here? If I'm not mistaken, Uber is trying to evaluate itself for another round of venture capitalist cash, and it's evaluating itself at $30 billion, for Christ's sake. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, in what world? I mean, Uber, with all due respect, I really appreciate your little, service, but, I mean, you're just basically creating a job revenue area for independent drivers, all right? I mean, it's not like you're innovating something of the future, all right? I mean, this is what I'm talking about. And you see, this is what, when you have dumbass venture capitalists, and believe me, folks, the tech sector knows how to juice these venture capitalist morons. There's people out here, believe it or not, that got more money than sense, all right? More money than sense. I mean, take a look at these Saudi Arabian princes out here. I mean, they just infused Twitter with a whole bunch of cash. That's why you have Sharia law digitally being implemented on Twitter, for Christ's sake. Same thing with Facebook. I'm telling you, these investors, they infuse all the tech companies, and this is what increases the stock price. Now, I'm telling you this right now, this is not out of the question, because this happened before in the 1990s. So if you were heavily invested in NASDAQ at this point in time, I think that the biggest correction is coming into the NASDAQ, all right? I mean, if we take a look at how it's done on the year, just since January, it's down 7.65%, folks, all right? I mean, that's just on the year. For the month, it's down 4.90%. Now, today, it's on the positive because, once again, you got these investors trying to make other investors believe that, oh, well, the worst is past. Now it's okay. Don't worry. I'm sure all these financial advisors and hedge fund managers and mutual fund managers, I bet you they were all getting calls from their clients saying, hey, what the hell's going on? And they're probably got to give them the BS that, don't worry, it's just a slight bit correction. I mean, give me a break. I mean, give me a damn break, man, all right? I'm serious, man. This is all this is about. All this correction is about. There is no basis for these high index composites, man. It's just no justification for it. There's not enough earnings. If you dissect the books of each and every one of these so-called companies, and look, there's probably some companies, and I don't want to mention, that are profitable and that have been generously profitable during times of, here are the turbulent economic 8 years. But as a whole, folks, the majority of the companies in the stock market have been cutting left and right. They're cutting employees. They're cutting warehouses. They're cutting capital. They're cutting outgoing expenses. And this is what is basically fluffing up the market, in my personal opinion. It is just fluffing up the market. And this is why you have, this helter-skelter approach as it relates to investing. Not even the damn investors that work in this industry know what the hell they're doing. And the evidence is what's going on in the markets today, man. Anyway, NASDAQ is up today 97.42 points, a percentage increase of 2.12% on the day, closing out the NASDAQ at 4,691.87 points for the NASDAQ composite. Now, once again, folks, I don't know what's going on here. These investors, man, I'm telling you this right now, I have no idea what these idiots are up to. All right? I mean, you can just tell based upon the Asian indexes. I mean, they're mostly on the flat side, some of them on the negative side today. As I said yesterday, they were on the plus side. Some of these guys obviously cashed out some of their Asian positions and put them back in the American stock market, for Christ's sake. And this is why you have this increase, all right? Moreover, folks, you take a look at Europe. Europe is still taking it on the teeth here. All right, I mean, you know, it's slightly up on Europe. My bad. FTSE was up today, 158.19 points. Excuse me, I was still looking at the charts of Asia. We've got the DAX index, which is the German index, up 1.78.62 points. We got the CAC index up 104.13 points. So all across the board in America and Europe, these investors are trying to cool the flames of the pending economic doom, in my personal opinion. I mean, the last thing they want is having a whole bunch of their clients call up and saying, "Get out, get me out of the stock market, I want my money." That's the last thing they want. So once again, I've always told you that there is no independent investor in this market anymore, folks. I mean, it's not, first of all, I don't know if you are independent investors. Do you understand that just filing the taxes as an independent investor, I'm talking if you are filing taxes and you're making stock money in your own personal name and are not, don't have an LLC, don't have a C Corp, S Corp, especially if you're a high frequency trader, you don't have these types of mechanisms. I mean, man, you are taxed 40 goddamn % on your personal name. Moreover, you got to list every goddamn trade that you ever did throughout the year in your goddamn Schedule D, for Christ's sake. It's ridiculous! I mean, they penalize people for trying to make capital and liquidity. Meanwhile, you got these hedge funds and you got these Wall Street assholes who monopolize with the government that don't pay a goddamn thing. All right? That's the truth. It's the goddamn truth. So that's why I'm saying, folks, I want the independent investor back in the market. I want the independent worker back in the market. I remember back in the 90s, folks, I mean, look, I've been doing this for a long time, all right? I mean, I'm not some Johnny-come-lately. This is why I'm very aware of what's going on in the markets today, very aware about the different financial instruments, so on and so forth. I remember back in the 90s, and I used to watch CNBC, I used to watch the business channels even back then. I remember them doing a story back in the 90s about, cab drivers in New York that were getting Palm Pilots. Y'all remember those things? They had Palm Pilots there, and they're driving their taxi cab, and they're trading stocks while they're in their taxi cab, for Christ's sake. I mean, that's how many independent investors were in the market back in the 90s. And I think that we need to do that again. I think we need to encourage it. That's why I sit here and tell these folks that are listening to me how this stuff works, how they can partake in it, give them a little bit of a strategy on how to view it, simplify the whole market analysis so that everyone can basically get a grasp of what's going on here. Because I'm telling you this right now, they don't teach you this crap in school. They're not gonna. You think that if they taught this in school, why would there be any teachers teaching it if they can go out and make the goddamn money themselves? I mean, just think about that for a second, all right? That's why they're not teaching you this stuff, all right? They're teaching you crap. So I'm just giving you a heads up, folks, all right? I mean, I'm not pumping and dumping anything, all right? I got to take a lot of heat from ass clowns that want to sit over here and suggest that, they're questioning my financial advice. Look, these are my opinions. That's why I tell people to entertain the idea. And I suggest that maybe you should look into the idea. I never tell people, like, that asshole Kramer on CNBC, for Christ's sake. You got to buy this stock. You have to buy it. I don't say that. I suggest it. And the reason I suggest it, folks, is because I want to make capitalists. You understand that? I am the anti-bureaucrat. I want to see everyone successful. All right? And, people might say, well, Ghost, that sounds a little bit like liberalism there. You want to see everybody get successful? Well, no, I don't want to see everybody get successful because that's an impossibility. But what I would like to happen is have the people that actually genuinely want to carve out their destinies, carve out their lives, and make their own futures, make their own worlds based upon their prowess, creativity, and abilities. I'd like to enlighten those folks into the possibilities and the opportunities that are there before them that no one's telling them that are there. All right? And that's the whole reason why I come on this broadcast, folks. I am a true capitalist till the day I die. And a capitalist does not mean some greedy Uncle Scrooge sociopath asshole that cares less about anybody. All right? A capitalist, there's a lot of responsibility when you are a successful capitalist, a successful entrepreneur. You've got people's livelihoods in your hands. You see, I love Nigel Farage today in the European Parliament, for Christ's sake, chastising these goddamn Eurocrats, telling them that they've never held a real job in their life, they've never employed real people. It kind of sounds like he's listening or one of his advisors are listening, because I say that all the time about these goddamn bureaucrats. And they have no element or idea on what it takes to be a capitalist. It doesn't take, oh, look at me, I'm rich. Look at me, I've got a business. Yeah, so what, you got a business? You've got it today. Are you going to have it tomorrow? Are you going to have it in 5 years from now? That's what separates the true capitalist from those that happen to come into some cash because mommy and daddy died, happen to come into some cash because it was inherited to them. They won a lawsuit or whatever the case might be, and they decide to open up the Ooh La La bar. And yeah, they got enough money to sustain it until the money's gone, and then when they actually have to make some profit to sustain the continuity of the damn business, they don't know what the hell they're doing. So that's why I'm saying, folks, all right, I do this in hopes of perpetuating a concept, an idea, a perspective of life that is based upon independence on one's own abilities, one's own knowledge, one's own creativity, innovation. All right, what we have here in the international community, and I'm talking about these international bureaucrats that are trying to take away nation-state sovereignty through bureaucratic order. They are trying to implement themselves as some sort of new royalty. Meanwhile, the multinational corporations who fund these people, they are utilizing these bureaucrats to sustain worldwide monopolies. Huh? That's what I'm saying. I'm not joking, man. Why do you think the EU is even in existence? Why do you think the UN is even in existence? Why do you think NATO is in existence? Do you understand that the multinational corporations, these corporations that are so big, they have no loyalty to any goddamn country. Do you understand that? A corporation, it can get so big, just like any other bureaucracy, folks, all right? It can get so big that no one within the goddamn system of that corporation could give a rat's ass about whatever country they're in. They're just all about making their paycheck, making money. They're all about, moving up the corporate ladder, and that's all there is to it. All right? And this is why you have these multinational corporations funding these international bureaucracies, because they want to stop progress. Progress is a threat to their continuity. It's a threat to their so-called success, their economic domination. And that's why I've always suggested, folks, that capitalism does not spawn monopolies. All right, government bureaucracies not only spawn monopolies, but perpetuate them, sustain them, and enforce them. Because, folks, if this was a pure capitalist society, people would become very aware that their power of buying, the buying power, the purchasing power, is a lot more powerful than political power. And you see, that's what a lot of people that are in America, that are in the European nation states, that are in Russia, that are in Asia, Australia, New Zealand, that's what they aren't understanding, and they're barely becoming aware of it. They're becoming aware of the fact that it's not capitalism that's the enemy. It's not capitalism that creates the poverty. It's not capitalism that creates the monopoly. It is the merging of supposed multinational corporations or big business with government. That is the most dangerous threat to America, to Europe, to Russia, to China, to everybody, all the peoples of the world. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what your political perspective is. It's multinational corporations or big geopolitical business that merges with government. That is the most dangerous thing. That's why we're in the position that we're in. That's why what you're witnessing across the world here is not an accident. It is by just by response. And that's why I'm telling you folks right now that what you're witnessing before your eyes worldwide is a capitalist revolution. A capitalist revolution, because by definition, to be a true capitalist, you want freedom. You want your freedom to be able to do what you want to do. You don't want some damn government dictating how much you can make, what you can eat, where you can live, what your potential is, where you should go as an occupation. None of this garbage. You understand that? I mean, this is why I want more capitalists, man. I want you all to take care of yourselves, man. I mean, that's what this government has done to the millennials and the previous few generations. They have bastardized and basically pussified the generations into being so dependent on government that a lot of people in America can't fathom the idea of not having government integral in their goddamn lives. And the reason is out of sheer ignorance. Now, why are they ignorant if we have a free education system? Because we got to look to the culprits who are running that education system, and it's a bunch of filthy, slimy bureaucrats. That's why they're utilizing the education system to socially engineer as opposed to educating the public. And look, I didn't mean to get on that soliloquy about all this stuff, folks, but this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and that's why I'm hoping that you individuals out there, and I know that there are some of you, I know there's a lot of people, with all due respect, they're living with mommy and daddy, and they think that they're going to be able to do that until they're 45, 50 years old, for Christ's sake, and it ain't going to happen, baby. You understand that? It ain't going to happen. And when it's time for you to start being on your own and doing your own decisions because mommy and daddy pussy pampered your ass, for a lack of a better term, you don't know how to tie your own shoe, you don't know how to pay your own bills, you don't know how to negotiate with, the creditors, the bank system for a loan, you don't know jack crap. You don't know the abilities and the tools necessary to make your life better than it actually is today. You don't understand this because the public education system didn't tell you, they didn't educate you. And then when you try to go into the collegiate system, you've got to pay these morons so that they can give you this knowledge. When, folks, this knowledge is out here for free, man. You've got the greatest innovation of communication and base of knowledge, and that's the internet, for Christ's sake, man. But now we have become slaves to the technology that now we don't even need to remember anything, because all we got to do is ask Google, ask Siri, what was that, Katana, what the hell is that other broad's name, whatever what Microsoft is putting out. All you got to do is ask them, and they'll give you the answer, and you're like, oh, okay, and it just goes right out your goddamn head. So we're in a very, very precarious situation, man. Very precarious situation. So I strongly advise everybody, look, even though there is crashes, even though there is an economic contraction coming, you need to know the tools necessary so that you can continue to sustain yourself even amidst economic turbulence. I mean, because there is ways, folks. I mean, give me a break. You just have to know them. And you got to have the balls to do them. You got to have the balls, man. I'm just saying. Anyway, let me get through these commodities, and then we're going to move on to the show, folks. I'm going to try to take some calls here because a lot of weird things happening on a global scale, man. I'm telling you, I know that a lot of you folks were calling me a little kookster and tinfoil hatting it about, the international bureaucratic institutionalists trying to take sovereignty from nation-states throughout the world. Well, now that Brexit has become a reality, they are coming out of their shell, baby. They're coming out of their shell, showing their totalitarian colors. So how you like me now there, Milky Lickers? Anyway, let's go ahead and get to commodities, folks, because I want to discuss this, and then we're going to move on. It's called Cortana. The Microsoft one is called Cortana. Who cares? She's a stupid digital bimbo. Anyway, let's get to the commodities, shall we? Energy, folks, you know that ever since March, hell, ever since the November release of that YouTube video stating that I'm going to be potentially coming back to the broadcast, I have alluded to the fact that people should entertain an ETF, an exchange-traded fund, with the conjunction of the rise of oil. And I said that it's a good long-term investment, folks. I mean, we got a lot of war footing across the world, folks, and whenever there's wars, there's tanks, there's helicopters, there's battleships, there's airplanes. Well, how are they going to be able to power all those sons of bitches? Oil, baby, oil. So I think it's a good long-term investment. I don't potentially see any kind of peaceful outcome happening on an international scale based upon all the damn war footing, all the turbulence throughout the international community, the antagonization by the international bureaucratic institutions. I mean, I don't want war. I hate war. But unfortunately, folks, I mean, you got to read history, man. Read World War II. Read the economic conditions prior to that war. Read about, what. I mean, just read about it, man. I mean, the more things change, the more they stay the same. But anyway, folks, I believe this is a fairly decent long-term investment, at least till 2017, possibly even into 2018. It just depends on a lot of different factors. Let's say we don't go to war. Let's say all of a sudden people come to their senses, hold hands, sing Kumbaya. Well, then we're going to see a decrease in oil production. Or what will happen is Saudi Arabia, the OPEC countries decide that, we don't like what's going on with the U.S. foreign policy. We don't like the renegotiation of trade deals with Donald Trump, so on and so forth, and they'll try to cut production. But the beautiful part about Trump, he understands that we have our own oil resources here. We don't even need these goddamn OPEC countries any longer. I mean, they don't need it. We also got somewhat of a friend out there in Canada who also has their own oil production situation. Hell, they want to build a pipeline throughout the United States so that they could take their pumped oil and just pump it right into America, for Christ's sake. But these liberal bureaucrats, these Democratic bastards, are preventing that, for Christ's sake. I mean, just building, and I'm talking about the Keystone Pipeline, folks. Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about, Keystone Pipeline. If they were to build this, folks, you know how many jobs? I'm talking about high-paying, blue-collar jobs, high-paying blue-collar jobs that this would employ, for Christ's sake. I mean, give me a break. Anyway, folks, let's just get to WTI sweet crude prices. And, of course, WTI sweet crude is the oil consumed by America. It is up today. Remember, we saw some retractions and some pullbacks in WTI and in Brent because of the Brexit uncertainty. People were cashing out profits and parlaying those profits into other aspects of investment because, as I've stated, No one likes to lose money, especially investors. And once they even get a sense of a pullback in anything, they want to take their profits and move those profits into another aspect of investment so that those profits can continue to sustain themselves. I mean, that's what being a capitalist is all about, baby. There is no shame on making money. Don't let these liberals and these bureaucrats make you feel bad because you are a successful capitalist. All right? I mean, that's the part of the game, baby. I mean, if you're a successful capitalist, you're the man, you're the woman, whoever, whatever, tranny, whatever. Freaking gender fluid, queer, whatever. I don't know whatever. Pansexual, whatever. Anyway, folks, WTI sweet crude finally pulled up today, folks. Looks like it basically made up all the losses. Maybe we're a few percentage points down, but it is up today $1.78. It is up $1.78, a percentage increase of 3.84% on the day. So pretty good increase on the day, closing out WTI sweet crude at $48.11 per barrel of oil. Now, Brent crude, folks, it is bouncing back as well. Remember, I talked a little bit about how it was very uncanny to see Brent crude fall below WTI sweet crude. It's probably the first time that I've seen that ever in look, I've been investing a long time. It's the first time I've seen that in a long time. I'm going to be honest with you. All right. Anyway, but Brent crude is pulling back up, for Christ's sake. It is up $1.59, a percentage increase of 3.37% on the day, closing out Brent crude at $48.75 per barrel of oil. Now, let's get to the precious metals, shall we? Because we saw a little bit of pullback in gold. A lot of people are obviously cashing out gold, and I've been saying this since yesterday, that you got a lot of people in gold that bought in at about 1,000, 1,100, the last pullback that happened in gold, and you have a lot of people holding positions at that level, and when they see a jump like this, and right now it is still in the 1,300s, they want to go ahead and cash out some of their positions and once again take those profits, parlay them into another financial investment opportunity, and continue to profit, baby. And you're seeing a little bit of that today in the gold markets. Gold is down today, $10.20, a percentage decrease of 0.77%, closing out gold today at $1,314.50 per troy ounce of gold. Now, silver, very weird what happened to silver today. Very volatile all day today, up until about the last part of the day. Then we saw a little bit of a bump up. Believe it or not, silver is on the positive side today, which is ironic because it was on the negative side yesterday, folks, if y'all remember yesterday's broadcast. It is up today 6 cents, percentage increase of 0.36% on the day, closing out silver at $17.85 per troy ounce. Now, one thing I do want to talk about in the metals market, I'm seeing this ridiculous bump up in copper. I'm not joking. I mean, humongous increases for the past couple of days. Now, I usually don't cover copper, but, you know, when I start seeing, 2-3% on a consistent basis jumps, on a consistent basis, a daily basis, I think it's something to be covered. It is up today 2.47%. And if you take a look at the 2-day chart on copper, man, what a ride upward, for Christ's sake. What a ride upward. And I do want to remind folks, okay, that every penny that was made before 1983 is copper, all right, folks? So look through your pennies, and if you got pennies, under 1983, those are actual copper. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that the Treasury or the government made it okay to melt those sons of bitches down or sell them for copper scrap. So FYI, and moreover, folks, every quarter and dime before 1963 is silver, okay? Yeah, our money used to be made out of actual copper, actual silver. Now, I hold quarters in my hand. It's like freaking play money, for Christ's sake, man. I mean, seriously, it's like play money, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ. Anyway, and moreover, folks, our dollars used to be backed by gold and silver. Now, I don't want to get into a debate on whether or not the monetary system is good or bad. I mean, I'm mixed as it relates for a gold-backed currency. I think that it kind of retarded a little bit of the economic growth. But at the same time, if you're going to run a fiat-based currency, there has to be certain levels of understanding that you can't just run the damn printing presses until the cows come home. I mean, there needs to be a certain level of understanding that you need to, create a monetary policy that helps prevent the types of stagflation, inflation, or deflation that we have seen here within the past 30 to 40 years. Now, of course, we have to blame the Federal Reserve in that regard because I don't really believe that the economists in the Federal Reserve know what the hell they're doing. Because in my personal opinion, I think that we should have rose interest rates a long time ago instead of just, kicking the can down the road and keeping interest rates low, for Christ's sake, because keeping interest rates low has not done anything but made the potential economic calamity that much more worse. I mean, folks, let me give you an example and a reason why raising interest rates is a good idea in theory. Now, of course, when you raise interest rates, you are going to put a little bit of a wrench in the engine of the economy because you're raising the interest rates for borrowing money for businesses, for home loans, for car loans, so on and so forth. But the reasoning behind raising interest rates, folks, is to recall some of that fiat currency back. All right, that's the whole purpose of raising interest rates. Remember, these Treasury and the Federal Reserve, they've been printing out money like it's been going out of style. I mean, we need to recall some of that fiat currency back so that we can bring some value back into the dollar. The only thing keeping our dollar valuable at this point in time is that now, because of the Brexit and the uncertainty of the euro, the uncertainty of the British pound sterling, the uncertainty of most European currencies, you've got a lot of people flooding over here, cashing out in American U.S. dollars because we're the only safe haven next to possibly Asia, and in Asia there's a lot of uncertainty as well. So the only reason that our dollar has any value is because we still have investors who believe that America is still going to pay its bills. All right, it's the bottom line. I know, this is very complicated stuff, folks, but this is why I try to explain all this, because I want everybody to be very aware of the truth of the matter. And once you start being aware and opening your mind to these ideas, it can make you a better capitalist, a better person, a more successful person. And that's what I want, man. Now, I think that's about it for the markets, for Christ's sake. I didn't mean to bore everybody with all that stuff, but I know I have a bunch of capitalists out there that are listening. I saw them tweeting at me during Brexit, and then after the Brexit vote was finalized, they were out there cashing out, baby. They were like, yes, Ghost, I listened to you. I made $1,000. I made $500. I made $2,000. Of course, baby, I'm telling you, man, you can always do that. You can always do that. You just got to know and pick your spots. You got to understand where the money's going and follow the money. Now, I reported George Soros, man, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, he was basically doubling down on gold investments, and that said to me that he is putting his money into a safe haven because he knew, obviously, that Brexit was not going to be a possibility. There had been no way this bastard would have done that if he thought that Brexit was not going to happen. And moreover, folks, Carl Icahn, I think that you need to look at these kinds of investors and see where they're putting their money and see, what they're doing. Now, I'm not saying that you should copy what they do. You need to get an idea from what they do and explain to yourself, why exactly are they making a move over here? Why are they doing this? What do they see? So anyway, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. I want to talk a little bit about Donald Trump news, and we're going to get to Twitter shout-outs here in about 5, maybe 10 minutes. Now, folks, I don't know if y'all saw Donald Trump's economic speech today, but it was basically a declaration of America's independence, economic independence from the international bureaucrats. He basically said, look, he's going to rip up all trade deals, and that's just, I mean, that's beautiful, for Christ's sake. That is music to my ears. Now, of course, you've got, even the business media is trashing Trump on this because they're claiming that he's not a free trader. I mean, what horse crap, all right? Look, I believe in what Trump is saying. I've been talking about this issue, especially with trade and imbalanced trade deals. I've been talking about this since 2008. All right, I'm serious. I said that we needed to go and renegotiate these trade deals because we have sent the means of production to all these foreign countries, and yet we send the means of production over there, the companies go over there, they bring the products over here, the prices remain the same. You notice that? If not get higher, even though they move them over there because it's supposed to be cheaper. And we sit here and consume, and folks, we don't have much buying power left in the American consumer market, folks. I'm telling you this right now. So I believe in renegotiating these trade deals, for Christ's sake. All right, China, he called out China especially. And look, folks, it doesn't mean that Donald Trump wants a war with China, all right? It means that we built China, all right? I mean, just think about this for a second, man. We've got a $550 billion deficit with China. That means every year, all right, we buy, well, at least according to last year's data, we buy $550 billion of their goddamn products in 1 year. I mean, we're building all the modernity out there in China, for Christ's sake. We're the ones doing that. The Chinese government isn't doing that crap. And that's exactly what Donald Trump is talking about. We, America, we're building Mexico again. We're rebuilding Mexico. You know, we're the ones that are protecting Saudi Arabia from being invaded by a Shiite revolution. We're the ones preventing that fat, cheese-eating idiot Kim Jong-un from invading South Korea. We're the ones protecting Japan. We're the ones that are out here doing all this crap, and no one's giving us any appreciation for it. People are hating on us, for Christ's sake, man. Jesus Christ. They're hating on us for doing this crap. So the way Trump sees it, well, they hate us anyway, for Christ's sake. We got no freaking respect from these assholes. Let's go back to the renegotiation table and let's get paid, all right? I mean, I think that's beautiful. I think that's beautiful because, look, hey, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And right now we are in $20 trillion in debt. And that's another thing weighing down our economy, folks, is this ridiculous debt that these bureaucrats, these career politicians that we have kept electing into office have put us in. And let me tell you, look around this country, and this is what Donald Trump has been trying to say. Look at the bridges. Look at the roads. Look at our airports. Look at our infrastructure, for Christ's sake. I mean, wasn't that what Stimulus Package 2 was supposed to fund there, Obama? Wasn't it supposed to fund all these infrastructure projects and, you know, redoing bridges? It was a bunch of crap. He lied. So once again, that's why I'm saying, folks, all right, we have to start taking care of our country. We got $20 trillion in debt. Look around you. Does it look like $20 trillion was spent anywhere around America, for Christ's sake? I mean, we look like we've taken a step back 20 years economically just based upon our scenery and infrastructure. Compare it to those that have the imbalanced trade deals with us. I mean, take a look at China's cities. Man, they're making so much money off of our asses that they're making humongous cities and nobody lives there, for Christ's sake. I'm serious. I mean, they got more money than sense over there in China. They're building humongous cities, for Christ's sake. And then they're using our money to do it. I'm not joking. I mean, YouTube search China ghost cities, all right, no pun intended, China ghost cities, and take a look at all these damn humongous skyscrapers and buildings and roads and entertainment arenas, and nobody's even there. I mean, there's nobody living there. So once again, folks, that's why I'm saying this is way out of proportion. And Donald Trump today, if you didn't see the speech, it's another memorable speech in which he outlines the difference between Hillary Rotten Clinton and Donald Trump. All right? I'm serious. I mean, there's a difference. Donald Trump believes in America first economically, America first politically, and America first socially. The other side is Hillary Rotten Clinton, who wants to embrace the idea of international bureaucratic institutionalism, give away our economic sovereignty to who the hell knows in this TPP crap, and NAFTA and all these other stupid agreements that have crippled our economy. There's a difference between Trump and Hillary because Hillary is literally embracing these international bureaucratic institutions. She wants to sign us away, for Christ's sake. She wants to sign us away, the damn bureaucrats, just like the damn European member states of the European Union did, for Christ's sake, man. I'm telling you this right now, man. I am glad Britannia rose up against the Eurocrats right now. I'm not joking around. I am not joking around. Anyway, folks, I'm going to retweet a tweet that was sent at me, a picture of a ghost city, and it was, of course, funded by the United States and our imbalanced trade deals, for Christ's sake. Ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. And that's why I'm glad Donald Trump is running for president. And I'm telling you this right now, folks, I am glad that he is so pro-capitalist. He, in this speech today, you couldn't get more pro-capitalist. You couldn't get more pro-business, for Christ's sake, man. I mean, when Donald Trump renegotiates these trade deals, they're going to have to renegotiate. I mean, did you see, and I hate to, keep bringing up the Brexit situation, but Farage, man, in front of the European Union said, hey, look, you're going to have to negotiate with us, and we want to negotiate with you, because he's basically there in the European Parliament trying to suggest that even though Brexit, is passed and Britannia is leaving the European Union, that Britannia wants to, trade and have a new trade deal with the European Union, for Christ's sake. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to some Twitter shout-outs since we're going ahead and, approaching the second hour here, folks. And for you folks that want a Twitter shout-out live right here in the broadcast, all you've got to do is retweet the first tweet on my Twitter account, folks, and that's the tweet that says, True Capitalist Radio Now Live. All right, folks, that's the tweet that you retweet for a shout-out live right here on the broadcast. Hey, engineer, do we have any Twitter shout-outs? All right, well, we got some Twitter shout-outs, and let's get to them right now. All right, folks. Now, look, I'm not in the mood, to be honest with you, with any of these ridiculous kookster troll names, but once again, this is the internet's. Anyway, we got the Republicatarian in the house. What's going on? We got the Teutonic Plague in the house. How you doing, Teutonic? We've got Z Frostwire in the place. We've got Alpha Farce. We've got what's going on to Capitalist Joe. Good to see you on a live broadcast. Dorito Burrito in the house. Regular TCA in the place. There's Blood Fart again. What's going on to Blood Fart? Who else do we got going on over here? Once again, retweet the first tweet on my Twitter account. Politics Ghost is the Twitter account, but folks, all one word, no underscores. We got Sergeant Yoda in the house. Exara Hawks in the place. What's going on? We've got a Comfy Raider in the place. Platinum Robo in the house. Kilted Capitalist in the place. What's going on? Foozy Tube Ghost, shove it up your ass. I hate that Muslim bastard, all right? And not because he's Muslim, because just come out of the closet already, Foozy. I mean, in my opinion, I'm sorry. I mean, the guy's a little effeminate Muslim. In my opinion, I'm sorry. All right, just admit it. Just admit it that you take it up your camel pickled pooper, all right? I mean, let's just admit it. It's my opinion. I'm just saying. He hasn't come out of the closet. He hasn't said anything. I'm just saying. And what did I tell you bastards about promoting YouTubers on my broadcast? I don't appreciate that, boy. Anyway, we got Eddie Hinkle in the place. Who the hell else do we got going on over here? We got trans Michelle Obama. Yeah, you know what? I'm glad people are starting to realize that, hey, Michelle Obama, that's a man, baby. All right? That's a goddamn man, for Christ's sake. And you know what I don't appreciate? First of all, I don't appreciate that these liberals, they aren't out in the open with this type of activity. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that is a blatant man, Michelle Obama. And she's a lazy tranny on top of that, too. I mean, she doesn't even tuck her sack back or, I don't know, tape her ding-a-ling or what. I don't know what the hell the procedure is. She doesn't even bother, for Christ's sake. Did you see her do that dance on Ellen, for Christ's sake, and see her Alabama black snake just kind of swinging around out there, for Christ's sake? You're a lazy tranny, Michelle, or Michael, or whatever the hell your real name is, for Christ's sake. And let me tell you, I think the reason that Obama isn't coming out with this, and I don't understand why. I mean, he's a liberal, right? Aren't liberals okay with this stuff? I mean, they should be, right? Aren't they pro-LGBT? The reason is, folks, is because I believe, in my opinion, that Barack, he's the bottom, I mean, he's the bottom. Why in the hell would he pick some big buck freaking tranny that looks like she could play the freaking linebacker position for the freaking 49ers out here? Why would he do that? I mean, have you seen Michelle Obama next to other heads of states' wives, for Christ's sake? I mean, she towers over these things. She towers over other heads of state, man. Those man arms, for Christ's sake. Those man hands, for Christ's sake. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Good Lord. Anyway, I didn't mean to go off on that soliloquy about Michelle Obama, but remember, folks, Joan Rivers said publicly that we already have the first gay president. We all know that Michelle Obama's a tranny, and that's on YouTube, folks. Look it up. A month later, she was dead. So, I'm just saying. Anyway, we got Strictly Diesel in the place. Lego Fan 421 in the house. We got the Trans Kane. You son of a bitch. God! They put a pair of balls on Herman Cain's chin, for Christ's sake. God damn it. You sons of bitches, man. Let me tell you something. That's my man. That's my man, Herman Sugar Cain. He got robbed for the GOP nomination in 2012 because the goddamn Republican establishment set him up. And that's why he is my personal favorite for the VP candidate for Donald Trump, because this man was prohibited from being the damn Republican nominee because of a goddamn Republican establishment conspiracy, and everybody out there knows it. God damn, putting a pair of balls on Herman Cain's shit. What a bunch of assholes you are. You know what? You know that would piss me off. You knew that would piss me off, you stupid trolls. God damn, what a son of a bitch. Yeah, give me the mic. Give me the freaking mic. That goddamn mic, for Christ's sake, man. Y'all are disgusting, and I'm sick and tired of this whole trans troll, to be honest with you. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm only going to take a couple more, for Christ's sake, man. Anyway, Jesus Christ. We've got Tank Dempsey in the place. We got the Vor Capitalist in the house. We got Neru in the place. Jesus, I'm not saying that disgusting name. We've got Ghost-supported NAFTA. Shut up your ass, all right? We've got Capitalist UK in the house. High Pressure Radio. What the hell is that supposed to mean, huh, boy? Pressure Radio. We got Tyson Rocket in the house. shoot the wounded Turks. That's horrible, asshole. Look, we're going to get to that in a second, but you're already going there? Oh, great. We got the trans chicken. The trans chicken. A pair of balls on a chicken. I mean, good God, man. Enough of this crap. Seriously, man. Jesus Christ. We got Dick Ripley in the house. Bimbo Slut. Okay, that's great. CDI fan in the house. What's going on? I'm going to take a couple more, and then we're going to move on with the broadcast. We've got the Whore Master, and oh, yes, I'm the Whore Master. Oh, yes. We got the Brody Network in the house. Happy birthday to the kid that runs that little whatever. We've got 299 dog droppings. What the hell does that mean, you son of a bitch? Are you making fun of my dog? Let me tell you something, you son of a bitch. My dog doesn't have accidents. All right? All right, I mean, I take care of things that, love me, all right? So I know when my dog needs to go and take care of his business. I'm not going to let him just sit there and ruin my office, my home, or anything of that nature. I'm not going to let him, make my damn house smell like freaking dog piss all over the place like I'm sure half of you people let your cats and dogs do all the goddamn time. So anyway, we got Ghost City, Texas, for Christ. I'll shove it up your ass. Although I am considering that here as, when the next crash happens and I start bottom feeding and, moving on up on a humongous size basis, I'm considering, buying a little small town out here in Texas, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm not joking. I'm not kidding around. I mean, this is, of course, long term. Buying a small town out here in Texas and inviting folks that used to listen to the broadcast to go out here and live in the town, baby. Anyway, of course, that's long term. It's not something that I could do tomorrow. A damn town out here in Texas costs about $35 million or some kind of garbage like that. Believe me, I've looked into it. Anyway, we got Fox Ghostler. What the hell does that mean, you asshole? And don't call me Ghostler! I've told you that a million times already. We've got Bodie in the house. We're going on a boat. Who the hell else do we got? I'm just going to do a couple of more, folks, and I'm getting the hell out of here. Or I'm going to move on to something else. What's going on to Trump and capitalists, man? What's going on? True Undertale Radio, shove it up your ass, for Christ's sake, all right? Trans Ghost Granny, you son of a... God damn it! I told you sons of bitches a long time ago not to make fun of my granny. I told you idiots a long time ago not to make fun of my granny, you sons of bitches, man. Big sons of bitches. My granny was a pious woman. You understand that, boy? She was a pious woman. How dare you? How dare you? Show some freaking respect, you losers. Show some goddamn respect. Show some respect and don't talk about my granny. God damn it. That's it. That's enough. I'm not sitting here doing any more Twitter shout-outs anymore. Forget. You see, you ruined it, all right? How you like that? You ruined it. That's why we can't have nice things anywhere. Anywhere, for Christ's sake. Because stupid, low-life, selfish losers have to ruin it for everybody. Jesus Christ. Give me the mic. Give me the mic. Give me the goddamn mic, for Christ's sake, man. Jesus Christ. I'm telling you this right now. That's enough. All right. I mean, I'm not doing any more Twitter shout-outs on this broadcast, for Christ's sake. Anyway, where the hell was I? I've been off keister for Christ. What was I talking about, engineer? Oh yeah, that's right. I was talking a little bit about how Trump made an economic speech today declaring America's economic independence against the global bureaucratic institutionalists. And basically laying out the vast contrast between him, the pro-Americana, the pro-capitalist, the pro-America first, everything socially, politically, and economically, against the agent of international bureaucratic institutionalism, and that's Hillary Rotten Clinton, for Christ's sake, all right? Now, I definitely want to talk a little bit about what Obama said in response, because, I mean, what a lying piece of soulless trash this man is. I'm telling you, man. Lying piece of soulless, sociopathic, psychopathic trash. This son of a bitch came out today and said that Donald Trump embodies the global elites. Can you believe this, Graf? Embodies the global elites and not the working class. I mean, what a scumbag, man. I'm telling you this right now. You see, this is where I believe we're going to start seeing the left chastise Donald Trump for being a successful capitalist. All right? I can already see the narrative starting to carve itself out in the mainstream media, and I'm telling you this right now. This statement by Barack Obama proves that this man is going to take an anti-capitalist narrative to Trump. I mean, how in the hell can he claim that Donald Trump is anything with global elites? The global elites are all coming at him, for Christ's sake. The global elites are all coming at Trump. What the hell are you talking about, Obama? You moron, you are a whore for the global elites. And you know it. You are a lying, trashy, sociopath, homosexual whore for the goddamn global elites, Obama. How in the hell can you sit here and try to frame this narrative that Donald Trump embodies the global elites, for Christ's sake? You are doing the global elites bidding, Obama. And we reported on this yesterday. Barack Obama and the United Nations are coming together to form a global police force. That's right. Obama and the United Nations are coming together to form a global police force to combat, quote-unquote, U.S. extremists. But Donald Trump supposedly embodies global elites. Give me a goddamn break. I mean, and you know, the sad part about it is people are believing this crap. People are so stupid in America that they're actually believing this horse crap. Jesus Christ. Folks, this is why I am telling you, man, if you have any kind of a social media account, if you have any kind of influence, whether it's on a blog, a vlog, a social media account, whatever, we need you to utilize your influence to shape the consciousness of the people, because the mainstream media is going full throttle. They're going full throttle with slanderous lies and outright just disgusting hit pieces at Donald Trump, and they're fluffing the hell out of this corrupt criminal, this disgusting, filthy, corrupt criminal in Hillary Rotten Clinton, for Christ's sake. I mean, this woman can blow a fart, and they're gonna say that it was some great thing for the environment. I mean, they'll spin it as if it was pro-climate change. I mean, give me a break. That's why I'm saying, folks, we need, all right? We need for you to go out and embrace the Trump train, embrace the capitalist army, embrace the capitalist revolution. And we need for you to contradict the lies that are being put forth by the American media, the lies that are being put out by the Hillary Clinton campaign, the lies that are being put out by Obama. We need you to post these damn news articles. We need you to post these damn videos. We need for you to retweet tweets. We need for you to do whatever it takes so that we can expose the lies, expose the contradictions, and directly confront these liberals on justifying Hillary Rotten Clinton's criminality. I mean, put them on the debating table and ask them to justify why they are embracing and condoning the corrupt criminality of not only Hillary Rotten Clinton, but one Barack Obama. And I'm telling you this right now, just like every goddamn stupid milky-licking piece of garbage bureaucrat, they're all going to ignore you, boy. That's the basis of liberalism. They don't want to see the truth, for Christ's sake. They just want to see things how they see them, huh? I mean, I'm serious. I mean, I'm telling you, liberalism is now turning into a mental disease. It's a mental disorder. It is a mental disorder. I mean, it's turning into a ridiculous fruit bowl cult, for Christ's sake, where they don't want to see the truth, because if they see the truth, it ruins their little liberal perspective on what they feel life is. They don't want to see realism. They don't want to know the truth. They don't want to know realistic reality. And that's why we got to shove it in their face. We got to shove the reality in their face, folks. We got to force them to look at the truth, embrace it, whirl it around their head, for Christ's sake. Let it keep them up at night. I'm serious. Expose the truth to these liberals so it can keep them up at night. I'm not joking, folks. We need your help. We need your help, folks. Anyway, man, I cannot believe Obama claims Trump embodies global elites and not the working class. I mean, give me a freaking break. This man, Trump, has provided, I mean, he has been an innovator in providing opportunities to women, minorities, and other groups that have been ostracized by sociality and different eras of America. But no, he doesn't get any credit for that, does he? You see what I'm saying? All he's getting is slanderous lies and hit pieces from the mainstream media. And that's why, folks, you, me, we are the new media, and we've got to help shape the consciousness of the electorate out here. All right? We cannot let these lamestream dying media win, for Christ's sake. We cannot allow these talking heads to suggest things to the damn American electorate, for Christ's sake, man. We've got to expose the contradictions. We got to expose the lies. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let me move on to another subject matter. Benghazi report shows Hillary Clinton did no wrongdoing. Oh, is that right? All she did was just ignore the phone call and stayed asleep, for Christ's sake. I mean, give me a break. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Plausible deniability. That's one thing dumbass Hillary Rotten Clinton knows how to do all too well. Give herself enough leeway within a scandal so that she can claim plausible deniability, and that's exactly what happened in this whole Benghazi situation. Now, lest we forget, folks, that her and the Obama administration not only aided, but funded and helped train the ridiculousness that's happening out there in Libya today. I mean, they were the ones that helped topple Gaddafi with NATO, folks, which I didn't even understand. I had no idea why our president, whatever, if you want to call him the president, he's not my president, he's your president, how Obama and Hillary Clinton condoned, aided, funded, and supported the toppling of Muammar Gaddafi when Muammar Gaddafi was bowing down to the international community, bowing down to America, allowing the IAEA to come in and inspect its land to prove that it's not acquiring or seeking weapons of mass destruction. I mean, it was actually playing the international bureaucratic institutionalist game. And unfortunately, they were backstabbed. And you can blame Barack Obama, Hillary Rotten Clinton. I mean, there is a clip, and I've tweeted this before, and I'll tweet it again, of Hillary Rotten Clinton boasting as if she's Julius goddamn Caesar about how she came, she went, and she killed Muammar Gaddafi, for Christ's sake. You understand that? I'm serious, man. So I'm just saying, all right? I'm just saying. Jesus Christ. Anyway, folks, I'm sick of it. I'm sick. I'm sick of how the left is just turning this narrative, for Christ's sake. I mean, lest we forget, folks, that Benghazi was nothing more than a gun-running operation, running guns from Turkey to Benghazi to give to these so-called rebels that are now fighting under the name ISIS. I mean, come on, man. I mean, can we just take our heads out of our asses, for Christ's sake, man? Jesus Christ. I'm not kidding around. The Benghazi report shows Hillary Clinton did no wrongdoing. She stayed asleep, man. She didn't take the call. I mean, that was not an embassy, folks. That was not a consulate. Do you understand this? That was a CIA outpost to basically arm the rebels, which have now become ISIS. Why do you think after that damn Benghazi attack, Hillary Clinton, Susan Rice, and the Obama administration came out and blamed it on a 2-bit video against supposed Prophet Muhammad? Y'all remember that, right? That stupid, ridiculous 2-bit video that looked like it was made in a goddamn public access studio? They tried to blame that as the reason why the Benghazi CIA outpost was overtaken, for Christ's sake. Get the hell out of here. All right? Get the hell out. I mean, folks, any embassy, any consulate is protected by the U.S. military. It's not protected by CIA agents. Why do you think the liberals and the Obama administration were able to sweep this under the rug? Because there were agents, CIA agents, protecting so-called Ambassador Stevens. And folks, with all due respect, Ambassador Stevens was an agent himself. If you look into his background, he spoke fluent Arabic. He understood Middle Eastern culture. I mean, understood it to a doctorate level. I mean, spent many years in different parts of the Middle East, for Christ's sake. All right? I mean, if you don't think that this guy was an agent, then you're an idiot. All right? I'm just saying, you're an idiot. Plausible deniability, Hillary Clinton, no wrongdoing, according to the goddamn Benghazi report. Just like she is claiming plausible deniability in this email scandal, folks. All right? I mean, that's all she knows how to do. Well, I didn't know. I didn't really know. I didn't get it. I don't know. I thought it was okay to do. What are you talking about? I don't know. I don't know what happened. It's ridiculous, man. A corrupt criminal. How you liberals can sit here and continue to be, I'm with her, is beyond me. It is just utterly pathetic that liberals can sit here and justify a corrupt criminal piece of garbage. All right? I can't understand. I can't get it. I can't get it through my head. I can't. This is a corrupt piece of garbage that's got documented history of criminality and corruption. I mean, look it up for yourself, man. And not to mention, look at all the people, unfortunately, that are they just conveniently die around the Clinton crime family. You know what I'm saying? One of them died this weekend, folks, in a supposed freak barbell accident, for Christ's sake. This son of a bitch was about to testify against Clinton in some Chinese fundraising scandal. All right? I strongly urge you to Google, the Clinton body count. That's all you got to do, Clinton body count, and take a look at all the people that have conveniently died, that have conveniently been suicided, had untimely deaths, for Christ's sake. I mean, give me a break. I mean, how much more criminal, how much more corrupt can you have to be before the dumbass American public starts realizing that this person that's running is Satan, literally the spawn of Satan? I'm not joking, a complete sociopath criminal piece of garbage. That's what they all are, man. Any career politician. I can't stand them. I won't shake a career politician's hand. You will never see my picture. First of all, I don't really have pictures anyway. But you will never see my picture with a goddamn career bureaucratic politician, ever. Career bureaucratic politicians are the most evil, slimy, sociopathic pieces of garbage on the planet. And I hope, because of Brexit and because of the run of Donald Trump, that people start recognizing that career bureaucrats, career politicians are no longer needed, and we should no longer vote for them any longer. They have done more harm than good. They're pieces of unloyal trash, and they needed to be voted out. They need to be voted out! Now, folks, let me move on to Bernie Sanders, for Christ's sake. Now, I don't know if y'all folks have read this. Even though Bernie is, I don't know. I think he's on. We could call what he's doing right now the senile campaign. Everybody in his campaign is abandoning ship on him. But this moron is like taking trips to nowhere, going out here and still believing. I don't know what he's trying to do. In my personal opinion, I think that he's still trying to solicit for contributions, for Christ's sake. Believe it or not, he's actually sending people that are delegates, that are his delegates to the Democratic Convention, for Christ's sake, man. I mean, what does this guy think he's going to do? He thinks he's going to usurp the nomination through the delegate count, for Christ's sake? Give me a break, Bernie. Jesus Christ, man. Anyway, the story goes that Bernie supporters are still clinging to hope, and we talked about this about 2 weeks ago, that there is a conspiracy out there that Hillary Rotten Clinton basically stole the California primary, all right? California primary, for Christ's sake, because there were batches of uncounted votes that were for Bernie Sanders. And, of course, you don't hear Bernie Sanders saying a goddamn thing about it because he's a Democratic hack. And when you don't feel the burn up your ass, idiots start realizing this, then you'll start realizing that everybody on the left, no matter how left they are, no matter how liberal they are, no matter how socialist they are, no matter how communist they are going to basically lie, cheat, and steal, and then slap your ass with some demoralization once they attain power, because all they needed you stupid little simpleton people for is to attain power, to give them political capital, you stupid dumb idiots. And you give it to them. That's the thing about it. I don't get it, man. You give it to them, for Christ's sake. Oh, my God. I don't get it, man. I do not get it. It just defeats the whole concept of rational thinking, cognitive reasoning. I mean, do you understand this, right? I mean, how in the hell can you turn a blind eye to this garbage? I'm talking to you, feel the burn, Bernie Sanders idiots, man. How can you still support this 75-year-old fraud? He's a fraud. He's a Democratic hack. How much more evidence do you, Bernie Sanders, feel the burn up your ass idiots need? That's why I'm saying he has to come out and basically tell you, hello, I am Bernie Sanders, and once again, I'm not quitting. I don't care what Hillary Rotten Clinton says about me. I don't care what the Democrats say about me. I am Bernie Sanders. I'm going all the way to the convention, so I'd like for each and every one of you to continue to donate to my campaign, even though I am not going to run third party. I am not going to go out and try to do anything independently, because that would take money out of the campaign contribution fund, and I don't want to do that because I'm 75. I could die tomorrow, and I want to have a little bit of a vacation time, or I want to have a little bit of retirement money, so this is what I'm doing. Remember, I did not have a job until I was 40 years old. So I don't have retirement, so that's what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. So keep giving me all your campaign contributions, all right? I don't care if you only got $200 left in your college debt account. You donate it to the Bernie Sanders campaign so you can be a good socialist, so you can be a good liberal. All right, keep coming. Keep the campaign contributions coming. That's right. Now I want you to come on over here and sit on Uncle Bernie's lap. Come on. Come over here. Take your underwears off. Oh, yeah, that's right. Now, keep donating into the campaign contribution. That's right. Take your underwears off. Don't worry. This is Uncle Bernie here. I've been writing about this since 1970. All right? Look up my stories. Look up Bernie Sanders sex stories. I've been talking about this for a long time. I even talked about rape being actually a fantasy of most women. I know what I'm talking about. I'm Uncle Bernie here. So come over here, take your underwears off. Oh, yeah, there we are. There you go, I'm Uncle Bernie. That's right. That's right. Keep donating to the campaign. Keep donating. Take your underwears off. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, does he have to literally do something stupid and crazy and perverted like that for you don't feel the burn assholes to realize he's a goddamn 75-year-old prostate infected, wakes up 5 times a night to take a piss fraud? Jesus Christ, man. I'm telling you, I just can't stand this crap anymore, man. I'm telling you, what happened to the mental stability of not only America, but of the world, for Christ's sake, man? Oh, my God. Anyway, once again, Bernie Sanders supporters still clinging to hope that they're going to flip the California primary, for Christ's sake. And even if you do, so what? So what? What are you going to do? You think that you're going to convince the Democratic establishment to put in Bernie Sanders? You stupid idiot. You people are morons. That just goes to show you the irrational thinking of the majority of the left. They're stupid, man. I mean, even when they're slapped in the face with reality, they don't want to admit it. They want to continue to look at things in their own stupid, warped perspective. It's stupid. I'm telling you, Bernie Sanders people are a bunch of idiots, all right? That's all there is to it, all right? I'm not joking. I mean, you know, somebody needs to slap your faces into reality because you are obviously in goddamn space cadet la-la land. You're obviously not thinking cognitively. You're obviously got a few screws loose because give me a break. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about the explosions that have rocked Istanbul, Turkey, folks. Now, the preliminary reports said that 10 dead, 40 injured, but I've been getting tweets from folks that have been tweeting at me out here, reports out of the BBC stating that at least 28 people are dead, 60 injured. And, of course, folks, this was a terrorist attack in Istanbul, Turkey airports. An explosion happened. Moreover, I believe reports were saying that there were gunmen going in there, opening fire. Basically, you know, a full-fledged terrorist attack. Now, I did say, folks, that Turkey is going to be seeing a lot of this because Turkey has been utilizing its military to fend off Kurdish forces for some reason. They're going into northern Iraq, bombing Kurdish forces. Now, who the hell does that help besides ISIS? You understand what I'm saying? Now, they had a bombing about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and before anyone even claimed credit for it, I said it was the Kurds. And I said that the reason the Kurds are responding this way is because Turkey is bombing the hell out of them for no goddamn reason. It's a racial thing. It's a tribal thing. Now, why exactly are the Kurds doing this? Because, folks, it goes back to the Treaty of Versailles. I mean, this is post-World War I garbage that we're dealing with here, all right? After the fall of the Ottoman Empire, folks, the whole Middle East was carved into the current nation-states that we see today. And as I've stated time and time again, there is no empirical evidence in the historical or religious context for monarchism in the Arab or Muslim world. There's no such things as kings and queens in Islam, in the Arab world, for Christ's sake. So this just goes to show you that the Treaty of Versailles was carved up by Britannia when it won World War I, and the nation-states that were created during this Treaty of Versailles and instilling these warlords as monarchs and kings and so on and so forth is really the reason why we're in the position that we're in today. Now, why do I bring up the Kurds again? Because, folks, the Kurds were the only group that did not make a deal with Lawrence of Arabia, folks. Lawrence of Arabia, he's an English guy. He came to fight the Turkish. For you folks that are unaware of Lawrence of Arabia, this was a British operative that went into the Ottoman Empire and negotiated with the warlords of the different tribes of the Ottoman Empire, and it was that secret operation that basically brought down the Ottoman Empire from within. The Ottoman Empire was around for almost 500 years prior to World War I. So the operation conducted by Lawrence of Arabia was not only a success in bringing down the Ottoman Empire, but the reason that they went against the empire itself was because Lawrence of Arabia promised each and every one of these warlords their own piece of land. And hence, that's why you have the Middle Eastern problem that we have today, because a lot of this has to do with the monarch system that was put forth to these warlords. I mean, they made these warlords monarchs. That's why whenever you hear about king this, prince that, this prince from goddamn Arabia, this, that's nothing more than the Treaty of Versailles. These are the descendants of the Treaty of Versailles, the warlords that negotiated with Lawrence of Arabia. Now the Kurds, folks, they didn't negotiate. They didn't want to have nothing to do with England. And as a result, they didn't get any land. They're now a landless people. Now, they've settled in northern Iraq, folks, and, you know, there's a reason why Chemical Ali, who was the brother, I believe, of Saddam Hussein, gassed the Kurds, because the Kurds are a very fighting force. I mean, they are a force to be reckoned with. I mean, they have seen so much strife and oppression since the Treaty of Versailles that they've become a self-reliant people. I mean, they don't rely on anybody. That's why when we went into Iraq, back during the Iraq War, I'm talking about the United States, the safest places to go in Iraq were the Kurdish-controlled areas, because, I mean, they are a self-sufficient people. Now, the reason the Turkish are bombing the Kurds, because they don't want the Kurds to settle in northern Iraq, which basically they now control. And you see, what's unfortunate about Turkey bombing the Kurds, they're actually helping ISIS infiltrate northern Iraq. That's why you had Iraqi forces here recently try to go into Fallujah to stop the progression of ISIS forces going into northern Iraq, all right? Now, once again, folks, this particular Istanbul airport terrorist attack, I believe, has everything to do with the Kurds. The Kurds are utilizing terrorist methods against Turkey because Turkey is utilizing their military to bomb positions in what is now Kurdistan. And that's why the Turkish are bombing them, because they don't want the Kurds to have their own damn country. So, folks, this is once again a byproduct of the Treaty of Versailles, the different damn tribes, you know, the Kurds, the Turks, you know, the Wahhabis, the Shiites, I mean, just give me a break, man. But this is what we're embattled with, folks, all right? I mean, what inflamed this whole situation, first of all, was the Iraq War, okay? Fine, we were in Iraq. Then you had Obama pull out of Iraq and basically help the damn Yehudis that were there causing a ruckus in Iraq to begin with, help them take over Egypt, help them take over Libya, help them with this whole damn Arab Spring nonsense, man. And this is why we are here. This is why ISIS is a threat. This is why we have a migrant crisis in the Middle East. This is a direct consequence of the Obama, of Hillary, of the Democrat foreign policy. And people need to understand that and become aware of it. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let me get to this last subject matter, folks, and then we'll go ahead and move on to Radio Graffiti. I want to talk a little bit about how the European Union, all right, now that Brexit is a reality, it's now showing its true totalitarian colors, for Christ's sake, all right? It's basically showing what everybody suggested about this whole political experiment all along, that they're nothing but a bunch of totalitarian freaks that are trying to erase the sovereignty of their member states. And because Brexit has become a reality and Britannia has declared itself independent from this goddamn international bureaucracy, you now have the European Union going full throttle in totalitarianism. It announced today that the European Union plans to seize the member states that are currently still in the European Union. They plan to seize their economy and military. Oh, that's great, isn't it? Isn't that great? I mean, isn't that democratic? Give me a break, man. I'm telling you this right now. We have to disassociate ourselves from international bureaucracies. And I'm talking about America. I'm glad Britannia has led the way, for Christ's sake. They heeded the call from this capitalist from America and went out and voted and declared their independence, for Christ's sake, against these international bureaucratic institutionalists. It's our time now here in America. It's our time now. All right, and I'm serious. Our time now. It's the capitalist revolution, for Christ's sake. It's a war against the bureaucrats. They want to sit here and they want to control our lives. They want to dictate to us as if they are in some kind of high position. That's why I was, very taken back by Farage today when he was in the European Parliament, basically chastising these dumb bureaucrats that have never done a real job in their life, he said. Never employed anybody, Farage said. And let me tell you, these bureaucrats, they didn't like being talked to that way, folks. If you didn't listen to that speech, I strongly advise you to do so. All right? I mean, he basically made the European Union look like a four-eyed, freckle-faced, beaten stepchild. And all they could do was, yeah, well, keep crying, bureaucrats. This is a capitalist revolution, and we can't be stopped. Give me capitalism or give me death, you damn bureaucrats. We're not going to stop. You're not going to take away our opportunity. You're not going to take away our ability to be able to be prosperous capitalists. I'll be damned if you do. Who made you stupid, useless people in charge anyway? It's time for us to take it back. It's time for the people to take it back. From a bunch of dumbass bureaucrats who are a bunch of soulless, sociopathic scumbags to begin with. And once again, folks, these bureaucrats know what they're doing. They know that there was going to be an outcry in relation to their incrementalism into totalitarianism. That's why more bureaucrats in America are armed than United States Marines in America today. How quaint, right? The most supposed anti-gun people, bureaucrats, because most bureaucrats are leftist trash. I mean, it's the whole leftist economic and political policies that enable them to get the goddamn salaries and the pensions and the raise increases on an annual basis no matter what job they do. No, now the bureaucrats are all armed now, huh? Now you understand why they want to take away our guns? Now you understand this push against the Second Amendment, for Christ's sake? Oh, they want every bureaucrat out here armed, for Christ's sake, but they want to take away the law-abiding citizens' constitutionally protected Second Amendment right. It all comes clear now, does it, why they want to do this? It all comes clear now. And look, folks, don't let them do it, all right? Do not let them do it. What I'm asking you to do is I'm asking you to go out and practice your constitutionally protected Second Amendment right, all right? Purchase a gun. Purchase an assault rifle. Purchase armaments. Purchase ammo. Do you understand this, folks? I'm not kidding around, for Christ's sake. I mean, and they're going to utilize every tactic necessary in an attempt to try to suppress us, folks. We even had some FEMA contractor, and I tweeted this particular article. FEMA contractors basically predicting civil riots when, food costs go up 395% in the next few years. Oh, that's great, isn't it? Oh, now we're going to have what? Venezuela? What's happening in Venezuela to look forward to? Folks, these folks in Venezuela are starving, and they're trying to rise up in opposition to their government, and they're being killed. They're being shot down like dogs out there, folks. So that's socialism? That's bureaucracy, for Christ's sake? I'm telling you this right now. Venezuela is socialism, you leftist scumbags. Why don't you go take a look at the footage coming out of there? Oh, what, you can't do it? You can't stand to see the sight of starving people fighting their government, don't even care about their lives because they're starving to death anyway, thanks to socialism? Truth hurts, doesn't it, scumbags? Truth hurts, doesn't it? Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, man, I mean, it's just gone mad. Everything has gone mad. Excuse me, Jesus Christ. Let me get a drink. Give me my drink! Here, I got a little bit of Johnny Walker Blue Label here. I don't want to heavily indulge in this, for Christ's sake, because this is a serious time in American history. And let me tell you, we're going to get to Radio Graffiti right now. But in the post-show third-hour edition, I'm going to give an insight on what the worldwide capitalist revolution should be doing and what we should be focused on so that we can solidify our capitalist revolution and sustain this revolution for the long term, folks. I'm not kidding around. And in the third hour, I'm going to talk about how the leftists have done it and how they came into legitimate political flourishing and why they are now in control of the bureaucratic systems of power. Anyway, I want to say cheers to the capitalist army, cheers to the Trump train, cheers, folks. I'm telling you, Johnny Walker, Blue Label, oh yeah! I'm telling you, it tastes great every time, man. I'm telling you this right now. Anyway, folks, let's get to Radio Graffiti, the part of the broadcast where the spectators become a part of the spectacle. All you have to do is give me a call right now at 516-453-9903. When I call on your area code, you got exactly 3 to 4 seconds to say whatever it is that's on your mind, all right, baby? And let me tell you something, all right? I know we had Helen Keller's birthday yesterday. Let's not be Helen Keller deaf mutes. When I call on your area code, say something, you milky lickers, all right? And once again, I want to apologize to everybody who listens in, for the seriousness of this show. We got a lot of internet trolls out here. But let me tell you something, what I'm doing here. I know that these idiots are just sticking around. A lot of these, stupefied, mommy-living morons, they're, sitting there in their Pampers and ponies, and, they're just listening just so that they can hear the Twitter shout-outs, just so they can hear Radio Graffiti. But I'm telling you this right now, just them listening, even if they consciously are trying not to listen, I am penetrating the subconsciousness of these losers. And at some point in time, it's either going to strike them in reality and it's going to hurt them that much more, or it's going to motivate them to be something finally in their pathetically anal lives. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to Radio Graffiti right now. All right, folks, let's go ahead and do this. 504 Radio Graffiti.
Hey, what's up, Ghost? This is Silverado, dude. I want to say thank you for talking about stocks on your show. I had the chance to learn about stocks in high school because the teacher was going to go out of her way and end up having Hurricane Isaac come through and flood my school. So I never got a chance to really learn it, but I really appreciate what you're doing.
Hey, man, no, I appreciate you listening, man. I'm telling you this right now, young people especially. I mean, look, this is what I don't understand. I mean, unless your mommy and daddy gave you a college fund or you've got scholarship to pay for your college, then go to college. But if you're having to pay for it for yourself, I strongly discourage you not to do it. Just go to work, all right? Go to work and try to, either move up or try to save your capital and either invest it or try to start a business. Now, once again, starting a business is not easy. But I strongly advise you to be your own capitalist, all right, to make your own money. All right, I mean, just take a look at college today, all right? By the time you get out and get your freaking bachelor's, all right, the average goddamn cost is $50,000 in college debt, all right? And because in 2009, because of the Stimulus Package 2 bill, the government now is in control of those loans, and now you've got to pay that student for life. Unlike your professors, who at the time when they took out their student loans to get their damn doctorate so that they could get their damn tenured professorship, they just filed their damn student loan into bankruptcy, boy. They didn't have to worry about it. I'm serious. You can't file your college debt into bankruptcy, and you can thank Barack Obama and the Democrats for that, you stupid morons. I mean, what a bunch of idiots you dumb kids are, man. They're the ones that put that law into place, you stupid idiots. That's why you got to pay on college debt for freaking 25 years now. You're stupid, man. Jesus Christ. 205, Radio Graffiti.
Peanut butter on my balls, let the dog lick it. Peanut butter on my balls, let the...
No, that's disgusting, you sick-ass bestiality pervert. 805, Radio Graffiti.
Monday night at work, I had to get food for my 2 female co-workers. And while I was ordering their food, I couldn't help but thinking about one of them slurping down one of my loads. So after I got their food, I went back to my car. And I jerked off onto one of their sandwiches.
Oh, that's great, you idiot. You stupid, dumb asshole. You see, it's garbage like that that gives feminist fervor right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not kidding around. It's garbage like that that's the reason why feminists have got any kind of credibility. Real funny, you dumbass clown. Go ahead and make the rest of us look like a bunch of perverts while you're at it, you stupid jerk dick. Jesus Christ. How about 415, Radio Graffiti?
Bumper the chopper with my friend O'Shea. What are you doing? What the
Well, you know, to be honest with you, the Pinochet operation was probably the only operation that was inspired by Henry Kissinger that I agree with. I'm serious. I thought the Allende election was nothing more than pure leftist propagandist. I mean, you know, it was taking advantage of a primitive people that was barely coming out of colonialistic oppression. And as a result, you know, this socialist, leftist, communist fervor, you know, basically took power out there in Chile, and, you know, something had to be done about it, all right? That's all there is to it. I mean, I do not cry for, you know, deceased leftists. I'm sorry. 919, Radio Graffiti.
Yo, Ghost, you and Donald Trump are 2 examples of ham bones, bitch!
No, that's real funny, idiot. How about 719, Radio Graffiti?
So I want to go ahead and have sexual relations with puppies. Yes.
Oh, shut up! What the hell's this about, man? Give me a break with this crap. And look, for you idiots that are out there, do I support feminists? No, I don't support feminists. All right? I mean, what I do is I'm trying to protect womanhood is what I'm trying to protect, all right? I mean, I don't want women to get swayed into this idea that, oh, well, I guess I have to be feminist because listen to these guys. They're just sexual deviants. They're a bunch of snakes. They're a bunch of lizards. You know what I'm saying? And you know, stupid garbage like that just gives them fervor, folks. You know what I mean? And not for me, but for other women. Women see it and they're like, oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. 6, Radio Graffiti.
Ghost, I'm in the hot tub at Pulse. Why don't you jump in and join me? Oh, my.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. That's a fruit bowl if I've ever heard one in my goddamn life. Jesus Christ. How about 781, Radio Graffiti?
Teutonic Plague, I know you're in the queue. You fucking blocked me when I asked you a question because you gave out your address. Why don't you fucking talk to me now, bitch? Come talk to me.
What?
How
about if I give him your number? You mind if I give him your number? How about 781-351-3650? Give him a call there, Teutonic, all right? 781-351-3650, all right? All right, he's got your address, so go ahead and give him a call. Who else do we got here? We got area code 907, Radio Graffiti.
Blog Talk Radio, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the true capitalist radio. Its 5-year mission, to explore strange new fandoms, to seek out new trolls and more tinfoil, to boldly go and...
Shut up! Look, just shut your stupid hole with that crap, you dumbass. Anonymous, Radio Graffiti. Now, you're taking too long, you stupid moron. God damn it, get it straight! How about 682, Radio Graffiti?
Oh, hey, Ghost. Just want to say thank you for the birthday Twitter shout-out you did for me on the Twitter shout-outs, of course. And also, happy Taco Tuesday. Please keep me online for the 3rd hour.
All right, no problem. That's right. It's Taco Tuesday. Woo! Jesus Christ, man! I think I'm gonna have some. I think I'm gonna have some tacos tonight. That's my contribution to the Latino community today. How you like that, huh? How you like a little bit of that? I'm telling you, I'm gonna commemorate the Hispandex community today. I'm having tacos. All right. I'm having tacos. I might even listen to Marvella Colita. How about that? How about a little bit of that? How more cultured can you get than that, baby? How more cultured can you get than that? Anyway, we got 818 Radio Graffiti.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mark Ryan, and welcome to my bathroom. I don't know why I'm welcoming you to that, but I'm filling it here because it looks pretty. Lighting.
I mean, what are you listening to me in the crapper, for Christ's sake, man? Jesus Christ. Who else do we got over here? We got area code, how about 609, Radio Graffiti? Let me tell you something, I'm a fruity-ass man, all right? Fruity! You stupid son of a bitch. God damn it! You're the fruity-ass, fruitful gay bastards out here on the internet, for Christ's sake! You stupid, gloppy, brony, enemy, hentai, waxing your carrots a cartoon fetish pieces of borderline sexual predator crap! You are, you morons! Jesus Christ! Give me a break! Jesus Christ. We only got 9 minutes left, for Christ. Give me the mic! Give me the goddamn mic! I'm not letting you assholes turn this into a Trans-Testicle Tuesday, I'll tell you that right goddamn now. Fruiting up the place, man! You're fruiting up! Stop fruiting up the place! Jesus Christ. How about area code 865, Radio Graffiti?
On yesterday's show, you told the engineer not to take internet people seriously. So, engineer, don't take ghosts seriously! Take over the show!
Now, shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Look, engineer, don't listen to these people, man. These assholes are not your friends. Friends, you hear me? I'm serious! Just do your job! Yes, sir. I'm telling you, man, leave the engineer alone, man. I'm tired of you idiots talking to him, referencing him. I mean, do you understand? It's true capitalist radio hosted by ghosts, asshole. This is my show. I'm the talent. So stop encouraging the damn engineer, you moron. Son of a bitch, man. I'm telling you, you guys are assholes, man. Anonymous Radio Graffiti. I want to be Mr. Leftist and try to regulate your speech, huh? Implement chat room martial law right now, engineer. Implement chat room martial law. Now, shut up, all right? Just shut your stupid face. First of all, that's a splice, all right? I will never, ever be a leftist, ever. I'm telling you, you splice jerk. Jesus Christ. How about 978 Radio Graffiti?
This is True Undertale Radio. True Undertale Radio.
Hey, this is G again. What's up?
The badass of the underground. Give him pacifism or give him death.
That doesn't make any sense. It's a decent game.
Broadcasting from his mama's house in beautiful Chicago, Illinois.
Undertale was awesome. That was just amazing.
And now, he'll take it from here. Your host, the savior of souls, the man they call.
God damn it! Enough of this Undertale! Enough of this Undertale crap! I'm getting sick and tired of this crap! I'm tired of it, man! I'm tired of it, man! Son of a bitch! Oh my God! True Undertale Radio assholes! God damn it, you know how I feel about that! You know how I feel about that crap!
I thought G was a G! And you idiots are rubbing it in my face and I don't appreciate it! Screw you! Screw you! Screw you! Jesus Christ, give me the damn mic! Give me that stupid mic, asshole! Jesus Christ! I mean, jeez. I mean, God damn you, man! You're pissing me off! Man, I thought I was going to have a decent Taco Tuesday. Once again, you freaking trolls, man. I don't even know why I have Radio Graffiti anymore! I don't even know why I have it anymore! 816 Radio Graffiti.
Hey, Ghost, great show today. I just want to correct you on one thing that you said earlier. The name of the show is actually True Engineer Radio, not True Capitalist Radio. You should
shut up! 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 Shut your stupid faces already, man! Jesus Christ, give me the freaking... Look, don't talk to the engineer, don't even make reference to the engineer anymore, all right? Any one of you. And let me tell you, if you make reference to the goddamn engineer, I've got 2 words for you, all right? Punitive damages, all right? The engineer has a job to do. Let him do his job. Do your job, engineer. Jesus Christ, man. I'm telling you, you don't even know. You can't even let people work out here. Jesus Christ. Who the 337 Radio Graffiti.
Right here. I'm not talking about the great asshole, alright? I'm talking about a strike of electricity that just randomly comes down from the sky.
Here we go. Here we go, you stupid morons trying to, screw around with my voice, for Christ's sake. Screw you assholes, man. Anonymous Radio Graffiti. Who made you stupid, useless people in charge anyway? It's time for us to take it back. I mean, here you go, making me sound like a goddamn tard, you son of a bitch. Another anonymous Radio Graffiti.
Hello? Anybody home? Special delivery. Out now. Registered mail. You're gonna have to sign for this book. Out now. Come on, I know you're in there. Out now. I don't want to get drafted. I don't want to go. I don't want to get drafted. I don't want to get drafted. I don't.
Well, you're sitting there playing with your Peter Popper to freaking anime hentai or ponies. You're gonna get drafted, boy. You're gonna get drafted. How about area code 714 Radio Graffiti?
Hey, what's up, Ghost? Just want to say you're doing a great job today. I want to give a shout out to the Capitalist Army. And don't listen to these trolls today, man. Happy Taco Tuesday.
Hey, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Happy Taco Tuesday to you, my friend. How about Anonymous Radio Graffiti?
Go, Adolf Ghostwork. You sound fruitier than a box of Fruit Loops, for Christ's sake. Go, Adolf Ghostwork. Oh, Go, Adolf Ghostwork. I did.
Jesus Christ, here we go with these remixes again. Stop it, ass crack, stop it. How many remixes are out there, for Christ's sake? All right, one more anonymous Radio Graffiti.
Hello, Ghost. This is Peter the Penguin. I want you to stick tater tots up my butthole, please.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, that's enough. That's it. All right? We're almost out of time here in the live broadcast, but once again, folks, I'm going to do a little bit of a post-show edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, the third hour. The only way that you can listen to that is if you give me a call right now at 516-453-9903. And once again, folks, if you can't get through, then you can go to blogtalkradio.com/ghost. That's blogtalkradio.com/ghost immediately following the end of the third post-show edition hour, and download it in podcast form. Anyway, folks, I'm going to be back tomorrow once again, folks, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Follow me on Twitter. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. All one words, no underscores, Politics Ghost. And folks, spread it around like wildfire and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is back, and we are live every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? I'll be here tomorrow for, I hope it doesn't turn into a Fruit Bowl Wednesday, 4 p.m., baby. Be here and spread it around like wildfire. All right, we are now in the third post-show edition hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, folks, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Whether you're live or in the archive, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. I want to reiterate again, you can download every episode that yours truly has ever conducted at blogtalkradio.com/ghost. All right, every episode, for Christ's sake, blogtalkradio.com/ghost, all right? And make sure to spread the show around like wildfire, folks. I'm telling you this right now. You, me, we are the new media out here, and that everybody is plastered in their fat faces with the damn truth. Not the mainstream media suggested lies and hit pieces. I'm talking about the truth. And that's why I'm asking you, please, all right? Spread it around like wildfire. All right, go to the blogs. Go to the forum posts, go to the chat rooms, go to the social media accounts, and let everybody know about True Capitalist Radio, and we are live every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. God damn it, spread it around! Especially if they're capitalists, baby. Especially if they're capitalists. Now, folks, I'm going to talk a little bit about the worldwide capitalist revolution that we are witnessing right before our very eyes. And let me tell you something. It's going to take a lot more than populist fervor to sustain the capitalist revolution. Now, I believe, folks, that the only way that we are going to enable a long-term sustaining attempt at trying to take over these bureaucratic systems of power is that we need to utilize tactics that the communists utilized for them to take over not only this country, but other bureaucratic systems throughout the international community. Now, folks, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how communism even came into existence. And, of course, we all know Karl Marx, Frederick Engels, they wrote many of the works that are the basis and the foundation for the political philosophy that is communism. But they actually had to partake in spreading these ideas, okay? And around the time when Marx, actually produced these works in opposition to the bourgeoisie, which was rising at the time as a result of industrialization, Marx at the time believed that modernity was going to phase out the worker, and as a result, the worker needed to be saved, and they needed a dictatorship of the proletariat, of the system of state power, and as a result, the proletariat that took over state power was to implement these ridiculous political variants, or I shouldn't say the political philosophies described in the Communist Manifesto. Now, the Communist Manifesto was actually written as a result of Karl Marx attending the first ever international. Now, for you folks that are unfamiliar with communist history, I strongly advise you to look up this international, because I know it's reference to communism. Whenever you hear about the international, you hear about the Communist International. I think there's been well, you can't really count the first one, but if you do count the first one, I believe there's been approximately 3 communist internationals in communist history. Now, all communist international means is that they call on a worldwide conference to converge in a certain area for a meeting of the worldwide communist representatives of the world at the time. Now, look, what does that mean? I mean, communism at the time, especially during the First and Second International, they weren't even in existence as a political power. I mean, they were nothing more than a book. Now, the reason that the International is so important, because the First International was not called by Karl Marx. It was actually convened by all the political philosophers at the time. This was during the, early to mid-1800s, and Karl Marx was just an attendee with Frederick Engels at the First International. Now, the First International basically was an invite to all political philosophies. Pierre-Joseph Proudhon, which was one of the godfathers of anarchism, attended the First International. I believe Bakunin, another anarchist, a prominent anarchist from Russia, attended the International. You had petty bourgeoisie socialists and other democratic socialists who attended the International. All kinds of different political philosophies. Now, the intention of this International was to basically converge different political philosophies so that it can combat the current system of state power at the time, which everybody at the time was against. Now, what makes the First International so peculiar is that Karl Marx seized upon this opportunity to basically dictate. I mean, this was the first application of dictatorship as it relates to communist political theory. Karl Marx utilized his oratory and intellectual skills to communicate his ideas of communism, and basically cornered the whole political consciousness of the First International to basically dominate the whole goddamn scene at the First International. And the reason we know this, folks, is because Pierre-Joseph Proudhon and Bakunin talked about this in their memoirs in relation to the First International. They called Karl Marx, an absolute tyrant. Somebody who knew more than they thought they knew. I mean, the same kind of criticisms that are given to modern-day leftists, this is what the anarchists at the time were saying about Karl Marx. And as a result, the only people that attended the Second International was the communists, because Karl Marx basically took over the International and made it his own. So by the time the Second International happened, that's why Karl Marx wrote the Communist Manifesto. And you see, my criticism is that Karl Marx was an eloquent writer, very deep intellectual thinker, and this Communist Manifesto is nothing more than a byproduct of rushed ideas. I mean, it was a consequence of him attending the First International and having to write something in time so that it can give out a political foundation of what communism was. And that's what he introduced at the Second International, and as a result, the International became a communist idea, a communist get-together, a communist convergence of worldwide communists throughout the globe. Now, the third communist revolution was convened by Vladimir Lenin, when Vladimir Lenin had the Bolsheviks take over the Democratic Socialists once the Democratic Socialists overtook the Tsars. All right, now I can go into Vladimir Lenin's rise to power, but let me go ahead and get into it slightly, okay, because this is a very interesting story. You see, Vladimir Lenin, all he did was go from Russian village to Russian village and establish communist bureaucracies within every one of these Russian little villages, all right, and Russian towns and Russian areas. People that actually took what he wrote, Vladimir Lenin, and he wrote extensively about communism, folks. I mean, very extensively. they took what he wrote and applied it to their lives, and they actually took whatever Vladimir Lenin set up as a system in each and every one of these Russian towns as legitimate government. Even though there's nothing that was really making them legitimate, it was their own fanaticism of communism. Their own fanaticism of communism that made them believe that they were actually legitimate communist government. And Vladimir Lenin, believe it or not, had established each and every one of these little communist like boards, these communist little mini municipal governments in every one of these villages and towns, that folks, when the czars were overthrown by the democratic socialists in Russia, because it was not the Bolsheviks that overthrew the czars. It was the democratic socialists. And when the democratic socialists took control of Russia, they didn't know what the hell they were doing, all right? Because they didn't have a system. They had nothing in place. All it was idealism and populism. And as a result, Vladimir Lenin utilized this chaotic time in Russian history to seize upon the power of the state of Russia. And how it did so was it just took power, folks. I mean, Vladimir Lenin, he already had the established system all across Russia. And moreover, he had won the heart of one of the major generals of the Russian army, Leon Trotsky. And basically, Leon Trotsky seized command of the Russian army, backed up Vladimir Lenin's usurping of power, because he just basically came into Moscow and just said, hey, this is now a communist state. I mean, literally, I'm not joking. And the people that he made communist governments in every little damn Russian village, for Christ's sake, they became the new government system because it was already in place. And one of the key things that these communists did, and this is where all these leftists get this idea from, is Vladimir Lenin told every one of these governments that he set up in these Russian towns and Russian villages, he told them to take a list of everyone who was pro-monarch in opposition to the communist ideas and make sure you list them, their addresses, who they are, their families. And as a result, folks, when the communists took power, it wasn't that long for the communists to eliminate their enemies. And this is where the whole idea of communists, purgings and killings and so on and so forth derived from, is from Vladimir Lenin's taking power of Russia. He took power. I mean, he saw the chaotic opportunity of the czars being overthrown by the democratic socialists. The democratic socialists had no infrastructure, no political philosophy in place, nothing. And Vladimir Lenin took power because he had already established this. It took him years to establish this. And fanatical communists took him serious. They took him serious, man. Even though these people that were in villages thought in their stupid minds that, well, no, I'm the communist leader of this village, even though there was no political legitimacy, they took it serious to the point when once Vladimir Lenin took state power, they were automatically the government. Now, the reason I bring this up, folks, is because Vladimir Lenin was the man who called the Third International. And it was that international that Vladimir Lenin called is what created the influx of worldwide communism that we have come to know and recognize in this modern world. It was that international in which the communists throughout the world laid out the worldwide infrastructure and the plan to be able to take over each and every one of nation states' powers, to be able to utilize state power to basically construct society as they see fit. And to be honest with you folks, I mean, Lenin achieved this through the realm of intelligentsia. I mean, he didn't fire any shots, he didn't kill, tons of people trying to take power. He killed all the people that he needed to kill once he took power so he would have no opposition to his power. And as I'm saying, folks, that international, that third international that was called by Vladimir Lenin, is the reason why we have had this influx of communism that has not been able to go away ever since. And that's what the capitalists need right now. The capitalists need their own international. We need capitalists to convene in some area to start talking about ideas, to start basically laying out the foundations of what government, what philosophy, what ideas that we should be all universally conveying and falling in line with, so that we can all have a plan of a system, of a society, of a purpose. And you see, that's what these communists have done. Look, they didn't do it overnight either. I mean, the communists have been doing this ever since the goddamn early 1800s, man. I mean, it's not till now that the communists, the leftists, the socialists, they are now fully in charge of not only this country, not only other countries, but they are now in control of bureaucratic international institutions. Why do you think I use the term international institutionalists? I mean, do you understand that? That's what this communist crap is. It's a bunch of bureaucratic institutionalization. And that's how Vladimir Lenin and the communists have been able to take control and take power ever goddamn since. And this is what we need. This is what we need out here. We need a capitalist international to convene all the capitalists throughout the world. I'm talking about capitalist leaders. I'm talking about people that are willing to go out and do whatever it takes to spread the idea of capitalism, the capitalist ideas, the capitalist perspective, the capitalist philosophy. We need to converge on some area in which we all discuss our views of capitalism, our philosophies in conjunction with capitalism. And we should all write out what it is that every capitalist throughout the international community needs to embrace. We need to carve out what the philosophy that they need to embrace. The same thing as these goddamn communists, man. That's why they're so successful. They were patient. They took it serious. All right, they took this crap serious, for crap's sake, man. And that's why I'm calling on the capitalists. We need a capitalist international, just like these communists did. I'm telling you this right now, folks. We all need to come together, capitalists worldwide. And what I'm calling on is I'm calling on some of these more influential capitalists that have expendable income to basically bring their incomes together to suffice a huge enough venue somewhere that provide enough safety and enough ample opportunity for capitalists from all over the world to convene at that location, so that we can have a legitimate dialogue on what we should put on paper that is true capitalism. All right? And I'm telling you this right now, we need to do this sooner than later. I mean, the communists did it, man. That's why they are so successful. All right? I just gave you a communist history lesson that you would have probably paid about $10,000 for a semester for. All right? I'm not kidding around, man. So once again, I mean, and believe me, it's not just politics that encapsulates communism. It's not just the philosophy of collective economics. Because believe me, the majority of communism is economics-based, folks. It's an economics-based political philosophy. But they also identify with a certain level of Hegelian dialectic philosophy mixed with materialism. Now, this, and I know that most people don't even read Karl Marx's actual philosophy as it relates to communism and Communist Manifesto. But Karl Marx believed that the idea of every communist, the philosophy of every communist, should consist of dialectic materialism. Now, for you folks that are unaware of Hegelian dialectics, now, Hegelian dialectics takes a lot of criticism. Because, to be honest with you, if you try to read Hegel's works and his philosophy, he made it so complex linguistically. And he did that on purpose, so that the only people that could understand and read his works were those that were intellectually elite to do so, okay? Now, I'm going to basically give you the synopsis of what Hegelian dialectic is. Simplest terms possible. Hegelian dialectic, the philosophy, means that you want to basically take whatever is and expose the contradictions of whatever is. Jesus Christ, I dropped the mic. You want to expose the contradictions of whatever is. For instance, right now, we are witnessing the Hegelian dialectic of Britannia exposing the contradiction of the EU and the international bureaucracy that it is, robbing it of its sovereignty. But now that that contradiction has been exposed and rectified, now, under the Hegelian dialectic philosophy, there are going to be contradictions within the internal Britannia independence. And those need to be exposed and rectified. And when those are exposed and rectified, you've got to basically take those new perspectives and expose the contradictions. And, you know, I mean, it's just this never-ending cycle of exposing contradictions. And what Hegel believed, that the philosophy of the Hegelian dialectic will basically expose every contradiction of life to the point where we get, and this is of course a philosophy theoretically, a theoretical philosophy, that we expose enough contradictions that there's no more contradicting ideas in life. That it's a philosophical utopia to a certain extent. Okay? Now, that's part of Marx's philosophy. The other part, materialism, is a completely different story, all right? Now, the materialism aspect of Karl Marx's philosophy means that, yeah, he wants to expose the contradictions, he wants to rectify, you know, all these supposed problems that are with whatever is, but at the same time, he wants to facilitate that at a rapid dictatorial level. Like, he wants to dictate the time it takes to be able to expose contradictions and move humanity forward into a contradiction-less society. Now, by adding materialism into the Hegelian dialectic philosophy, this is what gives communists the idea that it's okay to kill millions of people, because people themselves are not human, they're material. And that's why you had Vladimir Lenin implementing his first mass killing of, you know, implementing famine on the Ukraine and on his people, so on and so forth. He even wrote about it. If you're interested in reading his works in relation to him justifying killing millions of people because of famine, you need to read the work One Step Forward, Two Steps Back, I believe it's called. One Step Forward, Two Steps Back. And because Lenin put forth the idea and interpreted Marx's idea of Hegelian dialectic materialism as justification to be able to legitimize the death of millions of people for the idea of exposing contradictions within the political, social, and economic systems to help rapidly facilitate a contradiction-less society, is the basis for communism, folks. I'm telling you this right now. This is what these fanatical, intelligentsia communists believe. They honestly, fanatically believe this stuff. That's why they have no qualms with letting millions of people die, and that's why they'll continue to justify it. Because the philosophy that they have adapted as communists equate human beings as nothing more than material. Than like material to build a house, you know, or material to build a building. I mean, this is the communist philosophy, man. And if you don't believe me, go read it up for yourself, man. I'm telling you this right now. I have read extensively about communism, man. I mean, you have to. I mean, how the hell did this mad, ridiculous, secularist, atheist, political, economic philosophy come into existence. It's madness. I mean, how can people justify 80 million Chinese killed under Mao Zedong communist rule, 15 million under Vladimir Lenin, 50 million under Stalin, 2 million under Pol Pot, for Christ's sake? I mean, I can go on and on, for Christ's sake. They justified this based upon the Hegelian dialectic materialism philosophy. Now, I know for a lot of you people, what I just explained to you is probably going to go right over your goddamn heads. And you see, you folks can continue to, live in la-la land all you want to, but I'm telling you this right now, the people that are in charge, the individuals that are bureaucrats, these sociopaths, the people that are in political power, this is what these communist psychopaths believe, man. This is how they can justify sending people to wars, allowing people to starve, giving people diseases, so on and so forth, man. I mean, they actually believe they're implementing a Hegelian dialectic through materialism to help facilitate a contradiction so that they can expose more contradictions so that they can have a contradiction-less society. I mean, this is the sick philosophical basis of communism. And you see, how I just explained to you all this about communism, I mean, it's taken a long time for communists to develop this type of idea and perspective. And that's why I am calling on the capitalists throughout the world. It is time for us to call on our own capitalist international. It is time for us to convene, get the top capitalist intelligentsia in the world to convene so that we can all write what it is to be a capitalist, the Capitalist Manifesto, the true Capitalist Manifesto. And that was the big contradiction, in my opinion, as it related to communism. I mean, they're obliging Karl Marx, even though even Lenin, even Mao have redefined Marx by contradicting Marx. I mean, I'm serious, man. Vladimir Lenin, Mao Zedong, Pol Pot, Ho Chi Minh, I mean, you name them. You name all the communist revolutionaries, all right? They did the exact opposite of what Karl Marx predicted, okay? Even though I believe that Karl Marx was right in this regard. He said that true revolutions start from the top down. And that's what he believed that communism would take forth in. He believed that communism will be embraced by someone within the elites, and that someone within the elites will bring forth the communist revolution. But that didn't happen. Instead, the communist revolutions of the majority of communism throughout the world started from the bottom up, from the peasantry up, from the working class up, not from the top down. But I do agree with Karl Marx in that regard, that a true revolution that's going to change history as a whole is going to start from the top down. And that's why I believe Donald Trump is that revolutionary at the top, man. I truly believe this with my heart. I'm not just giving you a bunch of BS. I mean, this man is helping spark the capitalist revolution, not only here in America, but throughout the world. And that's why I am imploring everyone within the capitalist army, I am employing everybody within the Trump train. We have to spread all this information out to contradict the damn liberal lies. Because remember, these communists will lie and lie and lie. They have no qualms with that. Because remember, they're helping to facilitate their own idea in exposing contradictions at a faster and more dictatorial rate. All right? That's why these idiot leftists think Mao Zedong is such a great hero. Because, folks, China was a destitute country, man. I mean, what Europe did in the 1800s was dump a bunch of opium out there in China and basically completely demoralize the whole Chinese population. They were all hopped up on opium, destroyed their whole system of Confucianism, destroyed their whole philosophy, their religious concepts, for Christ's sake, and they were in limbo up until Mao Zedong came in and took over the place. Now, what Mao Zedong did is he helped put a fast track forward from turning communist China, his communist China, from a peasantry-based society into a full-fledged industrial state. Now, he did this by enacting a policy called the Great Leap Forward. And in the Great Leap Forward, folks, he allowed a good 25, 30 million people to die intentionally, starving to death, because, I mean, let's be honest, he wanted to make sure, he wanted to dictate that the peasantry of China becomes a modern industrial state. And even though it killed about 25, 30 million people, they achieved it. And you see, this is what gives legitimacy to these leftists that are in power. Why do you think Hillary Rodham Clinton is wearing Mao Zedong freaking clothes, for Christ's sake? Mao Zedong coats, for Christ's sake, man. These sick assholes believe that they are as insightful, they are as intelligent, they are as cold, callous as Mao Zedong, man. I'm not joking. I'm not kidding around. This is not a joke. Just look at Hillary Clinton's clothes, for Christ's sake. She's trying to pay homage to Mao Zedong in those goddamn stupid, ridiculous coats. I mean, that's what these liberals believe, man. Anyway, that's why, look, folks, I'm not going to take any calls. Well, I mean, I'll take a few calls. But I want to implore everybody, if you are a capitalist, we need to start advocating a capitalist international so that we can help solidify the philosophy, the economics, and the politics of capitalism. And that's all there is to it, man. Anyway, folks, let me go ahead and take a few calls here. All right, now this is a post-show Radio Graffiti. All right, now I can call on your area code, and if you have something to ask, go ahead and ask it, or if you're going to do your stupid troll, do whatever the hell you want. But, folks, what I explained to you here in the past 30 minutes is serious business. And moreover, you would have probably had to, go to 2 or 3 different political science classes to learn what I just explained to you here in this 30 minutes, all right? You would have paid, maybe $8,000 a class or some crap like that. Give me a break. Anyway, folks, let's go ahead and go back to the calls here. And once again, it's a post-show Radio Graffiti. Once again, if you want to do your little whatever, go ahead and do whatever. But if you want to have a serious discussion about subject matters, well, by God, this is the opportunity to do it, all right? So let's go ahead and take some, let's take some calls here, shall we? We got area code 619. What's up, Radio Graffiti?
Hey, Ghost, it's Astro. I have one personal question and one community question.
All right, go ahead, man. What's up?
One personal question is, I don't know, I just been thinking, do you believe in ghosts?
Do I believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Well, I believe in, I don't believe in the concept of ghosts in the Hollywood sense. I do believe that there are things that are in a spiritual realm or in a spiritual dimension that we can't technically see with our 20/20 vision, but elements of that, especially the embracing of the dark side of it by our elites, kind of proves that there is something of that nature. But I don't really, I've never really seen a ghost. I've actually tried to see ghosts several times. I've been to supposed haunted places. I stayed the night at a place supposedly where there was some maid that supposedly saw the devil choking her sister. And I mean, I've actually attempted, I'm not joking, I've actually tried to attempt to see these things. I am not afraid of that sort of thing, and I've never seen a goddamn thing. So I don't know if that answers your question. I'm not really sure. I don't believe in ghosts in the traditional apparitional sense because I personally have never seen it. But I can't deny the fact that there is spiritual elements within this dimension of our reality that we're not cognitively aware of or can't even see, hear, smell, taste, etc.
Yeah, I like your input on ghosts. to be honest. Thank you, Ghost, for answering that question. The second question comes from the Sting community, because sometimes I ask them, like, hey, do you guys want any questions? So I can ask Ghost, and they ask if you're ever returning to Paul Talk.
No, I'm never going to return to Pal Talk, and nor am I ever going to return to any interpersonal communication with any of the listeners that are listening to the broadcast, all right? Unfortunately, and I want to thank you, Asho, for calling in, man. Unfortunately, the last time I did that, I tried in an attempt to get a little interpersonal with folks that listen to the broadcast in hopes of enlightening them and enhancing their intellectual potential, and unfortunately it did not work, and unfortunately it turned into a complete and utter sideshow, a cyber schlonghead size contest, a complete diabolical troll orgy. I just didn't like what happened. It was ridiculous. So no, I'm never going to do it, never going to come back. Never going to chat with folks, none of that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the only time you're going to be able to chat with me is if I'm on this show, or you can tweet at me if you want, and maybe I'll respond. But other than that, man, I just don't want any formal communication with anybody, man. I mean, you know, what's unfortunate is that you can befriend somebody, right? I mean, seriously, you can befriend somebody, and they could be your best friend, okay? And you can tell them all the things that I'm telling you. And these morons will say, oh, yeah, I believe it. Oh, and they'll do the complete opposite. The complete and utter. And that's what I have come to learn in my life, that the only way that you are going to inspire people is from afar. You know, because if you start bringing people that you're attempting to inspire into your inner circle, for Christ's sake, they just become your quintessential friend zone bullshit paradigm, with all due respect, excuse my French. And what I mean by that is that you know how friendship is, folks, all right? Unless you have a really good, serious friendship with folks, well, good for you, but it's a pendulum where one side weighs down the other side, all right? One side is always dependent on the other side, and the other side just obliges because, oh, that's my friend. One side always says, hey, man, can you pick me up? Hey, can you do this for me? Can you tell me about this? Can I borrow this? Can I do this? And once you stop doing that for that individual, all of a sudden, they hate you. All of a sudden, they think you're a piece of trash. All of a sudden, you're their enemy, for Christ's sake, man. And you see, that's what I gathered the last time that I communicated with folks on the internet, for Christ's sake. And look, I have to deal with that in real life as it is, and I'm sick of having to deal with it in real life. What makes you think that I want to deal with it in the cyber world, all right? Seriously. That's why I'm telling you, I have no friends, folks. I mean, I have acquaintances, I've got associates, I've got business partners. I wouldn't say partners in the traditional, like, you know, this person owns half and I own half. I'm talking like partners in the sense of we have a mutual business understanding in which we both give each other business and, you know, help sustain both of our companies. But as far as friends and all that garbage is concerned, I don't need friends, all right? I need loyal capitalists. I need loyal business folks. I need folks that understand that we have a mutual understanding to benefit each other. You are not going to try to weigh me down. I'm not going to try to weigh you down. I'm not going to ask anything of you that's out of line, vice versa. And believe it or not, that's a little bit easier said than done, to be completely honest with you. I mean, that's why I keep saying to you folks that are out here that actually believe that you've got best friends and, oh, he's my best friend, so on and so forth, she's my best friend, especially you women. I would... You know, you women that, like, claim that you have best friends, how many times do you have to see it on talk shows, on court shows, in real life, for you women to realize that you women really don't have best friends, especially when there's an attractive-looking penis that's within the vicinity that one of you is actually with, all right? I mean, that's why all women best friends break up, is because of some guy, all right? And why do most men friendships break up, folks, or they're no longer in existence? Because one side is a complete and utter piece of garbage and literally just wants to, utilize the friendship as a basis to, be a use and abuse piece of garbage, while the other one is just sitting there trying to be the, quote, good friend. And then when the person stops being the good friend and says, look, I'm not going to take you here, or hey, I'm not going to pay for this, or hey, I'm not going to let you borrow this, or hey, I'm not going to give you any more information or whatever, all of a sudden you're a piece of trash, they hate you, you deserve scorn, and I don't have time for that crap, man. I'm serious. I don't have time for that garbage, all right? I've got too important of a life to sit here and deal with simpletons that can't even deal with their own level of mental capacity. So anyway, I didn't mean to go off on that soliloquy about that, but I'm actually very serious about that. I don't need anybody. You understand? I'm a fucking capitalist. Excuse my French. All right? I don't need anybody. You understand that? I've never needed anybody. I've been sitting here doing my thing my whole goddamn life. I've been a capitalist since the day I was born, baby. You understand that? And I learned at a very young age that ain't nobody going to give you anything. Ain't nobody going to give you the life that you want. Ain't nobody going to give you the materials that you want. You got to go out and do it. I learned at a young age that nothing is going to happen to you. You can sit there and pray to whatever God you think, but if you pray that, oh God, please let something happen to me. Please let me be successful, God. Please let me have a relationship, God. Please. That's why you ain't doing jack. You're a loser. You think God cares about you? I mean, seriously, why should God care about you and how much money you're making and what your sexual life is looking like, for Christ's sake? And what, he's supposed to ignore the other 7.5 billion people on the planet? That's what I'm saying, man. I'm sorry. I hate to intertwine religion with this, folks, because I know it freaks people out, and right off the bat they start going tinfoil hat and all this other garbage. But, folks, you need to start recognizing that, the most pious people in the world tend to, suffer the most, Don't you know that? You go to these third world nations, especially out there in South America, they're living in squalor, and yet they'll pray to Jesus and thank them for the damn dirt that they have. I mean, I'm serious. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm sorry about that soliloquy. Good question, though, Asho. Thank you for calling up, man. I appreciate it. Who the hell else do we got going on over here? Let's take some more calls, shall we? I was going to say the number, but you can't call in because the goddamn, the show's over, or the live show's over, for Christ's sake. Anyway, who else do we got going on over here? How about area code 856, Radio Graffiti?
Hi, Ghost. This is Trumpin' Capitalist. How are you this afternoon?
Hey, what's going on, Trumpin'? How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. I'm not going to do any high stay. I'm going to get over this really quickly because I know it's graffiti time. I want everybody to get in their calls. So Tuck Guy wanted me to come on the show today and talk about a theory he has about D-Ray and the DMs. So basically what he thinks is that these DMs are part of a ploy for D-Ray to be a pawn for the State Department, so Hillary does not have to pander to Sanders or Black Lives Matter, because basically it would take many of these demographics and pull them in and basically do the dirty work for Hillary. So basically it's like a magnet. D-Ray's trying to be a magnet for Black Lives Matter and Hillary so that she can get more votes from the minorities.
Well, don't you think that D-Ray is, disenchanting a lot of the black minority vote, especially the Black Lives Matter contingent? I mean, I've seen Hillary and Bill being heckled by Black Lives Matter protesters, and it's not very good footage, especially if they're trying to win the black vote, in my personal opinion, especially that whole super predator comment that Hillary Rodham Clinton made after the crime bill that was signed into law by Bill Clinton during his tenure in the 90s, which basically put, millions of minority-based individuals in prisons all across the country. So I don't know if I completely agree with that per se. I honestly do believe, in my opinion, that this administration is not above utilizing any group to achieve its objective, and it doesn't mind utilizing groups that agitate violence or fraud. I mean, lest we forget, remember Acorn, that organization, that nonprofit fraudulent organization? I mean, they were the ones that helped manipulate, voter registrations and, helped the housing crisis, because they also were people that helped low-income families, push themselves into these subprime mortgages. I mean, they're this fraudulent organization that helped Obama get into office. I mean, this son of a bitch was their lawyer. He was their lawyer. So I just don't think that these guys are above utilizing groups, nor talking directly with them. I honestly do believe that D-Ray does have a communication-based relationship with the DOJ, with Loretta Lynch, and that's why he's ignoring everybody who asks him about it.
Oh, yes, well, definitely. And just to be a little bit of a disclaimer, the top guy actually sent me this information. That was his theory, and I just added on a little bit.
Have to be on the lookout for any more of these DMs, and basically if there's any more communication like this, like, oh, we're going to start riots, or we're going to say how bad Trump is. So basically it's going to be, basically D-Ray is trying to start riots, in my honest opinion.
Well, hey, thank you for calling there, Trump and capitalists. Look, the bottom line is, if he's going to start riots, I already released where he's located. Everybody should go to his house if that's the case, all right? I'm not joking. I'm not kidding around anymore. This idiot is openly advocating violence. The Capitalist Army released where his daddy lives, all right? We've got other addresses where this idiot bebops around in. I'm telling you this right now, unless D-Ray starts explaining himself on what his relationship is with the Department of Justice, why he is agitating violence, advocating violence, I honestly believe that we got to go and make sure that we go to his house, man. You understand? I'm not joking. And I'm not kidding around. If there's any violence, even at the Democratic convention or the Republican convention, I think everybody should just converge on D-Ray's house to ask him a few questions. I'm sorry. I'm not kidding around. All right? I'm sick and tired of these assholes advocating violence. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it, man. Anyway, who else do we got going on over here? How about area code 210? What's up, Radio Graffiti? Hello, yeah, 210, Radio Graffiti. Yeah, you must be doing something. Who else do we got going on over here? How about area code 520, Radio Graffiti?
Okay, guys. The birds are singing, the flowers are blooming, and on days like these, ham bones like you should be fapping to Undertale.
Shut up, you stupid idiot moron. That's right, that's a Scottish kilt-wearing bastard, huh? They're the ones that have that bull-dyke prime minister, or whatever the hell that leader is in Scotland, trying to advocate a referendum to leave the UK so they could go back to the European goddamn Union. I mean, what cuckery? What goddamn cuckery? Anyway, look, folks, I think that's about it, folks, all right? I mean, we're about 10 minutes away from 7 o'clock here. I think it was a decent Taco Tuesday, to say the least. I think that we conveyed a lot of information here. Once again, yours truly is starting to cover the market slowly but surely, but the reason I'm covering it is because I am monitoring the gradual downfall of what is going to be the inevitable contraction of the stock market, the inevitable fall of the real estate market again, and that's why you have people like Carl Icahn, you've got people like George Soros, and all these other big wigs saying that we are in an asset bubble. And what that means is what everybody believes is actual long-term investment that's growing. And this, of course, includes stocks. It includes real estate. It includes art. Believe it or not, there's a huge art bubble going on as well. These investments are going to come crashing down with the crash of the stock market, with the crash of the real estate market, folks. And that's why I am strongly advising folks to be a little bit bearish on their investments for right now. Hold a lot of cash so that when the damn bottom, the contraction of the market finally starts tanking and you start waiting for that bottom, man, bottom feed like hell, man. Bottom feed like hell. This is where true wealth is generated. Those that have cash on hand to be able to start buying when everybody and their brother is leaving the market, that's when true wealth is built. So that's why I am starting to cover the markets. Moreover, I am continuing on discussing news events, Donald Trump news, what the damn lies the mainstream media are putting forth, what Obama's doing that's unconstitutional, signing away our sovereignty to the United Nations and other bureaucratic institutions. We're going to keep giving you the straight political dope. All I ask from you folks is to spread it around like wildfire and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect into the house live every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And of course, if you ever miss a show, folks, you can always check it in the archive at blogtalkradio.com/ghost. That's blogtalkradio.com/ghost. Every episode that I have ever conducted is there to download absolutely free. All right? So whenever you have some spare time, whenever you want to go through the history of yours truly, I mean, you can go back as far as 2008 to now, baby. We got all kinds, thousands of hours of content right there, baby. Thousands. Anyway, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Follow me on Twitter. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. All one word, no underscores, for Christ's sake, Politics Ghost. I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me, folks, all right? All right, whether you're live or in the archive, I appreciate your patronage. Spread it around like wildfire. And as I've stated, the whole reason why I am doing this is to not only get Donald Trump elected, but to spark synapses and capitalists throughout the world. It's a capitalist revolution. It's time for you to take your share. Stand up and be a true capitalist. Stand up so you can carve out your own destiny, so you can utilize your own abilities, your own creativity, your own prowess, your own innovation to create your own world. Don't let these bureaucrats dictate to you what you can have, how much you can have, where you can live, what you can eat. You are the power of your own domain. Don't wait for things to happen to you. Be a true capitalist and make things happen. Do you understand that? Don't wait around and wait for things to happen to you. Go out there and grow some balls and make things happen, baby, like a capitalist. And don't be afraid of what the outcome is. Failure, success, it doesn't matter. Even amidst failure, you can acquire certain levels of intelligence, of experience, so that you can never do that mistake, that miscalculation, or whatever it is that makes your particular delving into capitalism a failure. You will know never to do that again. And I encourage you to learn from other people's mistakes so that you don't make them. That's why I give so much knowledge on this broadcast, folks. I mean, do y'all remember that one gentleman that called in who said that he's selling his artwork for $3,000 a pop because he listened to yours truly? How come you can't do that? Huh? How come you can't do that? That's what I'm telling you. I am giving you millions of dollars of information. It is up to you to utilize it to benefit your own life. And like I said, folks, being a capitalist doesn't mean that you have to be a millionaire. It doesn't mean that you have to be wealthy. Being a capitalist means that whatever you want your life to be, that you're making it and sustaining it. And you make the decision on how much you're going to eat. You make the decision on what kind of house that you're going to live in. You make the decision on what kind of car you're going to drive. Not some goddamn stupid, useless, soulless bureaucrat. And that's what makes capitalism the essence of freedom. Do you understand that? Capitalism is the essence of freedom. Don't you ever forget that, folks. Anyway, folks, I want to thank you for tuning in with me on this Taco Tuesday. Please tune in with me tomorrow, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on blogtalkradio.com/ghost. Follow me on Twitter. Once again, Politics Ghost, man. What are you doing? Follow me on Twitter, baby. Good God. Anyway, folks, I'm getting the hell out of here. Thank you for tuning in with me. Long live the capitalist army, and death to socialism, death to communism, death to feminism, and death to totalitarianism. You hear my dog Templeton? He hates communists. He hates communists. My dog hates communists, and I hate communists too. You hate communists, Templeton? You hate communists, Templeton? I hate them too. Tune in tomorrow, Wednesday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is Ghost, baby, the true capitalist. I'm out of here. Look at my dog hates communists. I'm out of here.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Well, guys, that is all for the show, and thank you guys once again for watching the stream. Or if you're just listening to this on YouTube, thank you for listening to the entire show. You just listened to, actually 3 hours, we could say, of the entire show, including with the post show to be done with. So thanks again, guys. This was a pretty decent show, I might say, and I'm just very, very, very happy that I actually got a Twitter shout out from Ghost. I mean, I didn't realize that he really gave me a Twitter shout out, but not only that, he gave me a birthday shout out. So well, actually my birthday was yesterday. Today it was actually the 28th, and yesterday's the 27th. So the 27th was my birthday, but today he actually gave me a birthday shout out. So I'm actually pretty happy about that. I mean, thanks, Ghost, if you're actually listening to this replaying. But yes, this has been a pretty good show. Radio Graffiti, on the other hand, yeah, there were some good splices, and this and that, and pretty decent to say. And post show, well, you get the whole segment of him just talking, and also little Radio Graffiti, not too much, but yeah, pretty okay. But hey, at least I'm just happy that I got a Twitter shout out with the birthday shout out as well from him. I mean, that's just one thing out of all the entire show that I'm very glad I got out of from him. I mean, I'm just very, very happy. I just can't believe it, and I just can't believe it. It is just amazing, to say the least. Anyways, guys, that is it for me to say. I'm going to be out, and I'll be back here for tomorrow for the next TCR live stream. If you guys want to catch the stream, make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Of course, the events will actually post it every day, and whenever Ghost does one, every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. If you live West Coast, it's 2 p.m. Is it Pacific? Yeah, 2 p.m. Pacific. And of course, just follow me on Twitter at the Brony Network, and also follow Ghost as well at Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscore. Both the Twitter names are as that, but make sure to actually follow me on Twitter and follow his as well. And you also get his more info on other politics and news and other stuff from him. And I just post random stuff and possibly stream and then and there that I do every Monday through Friday, and also weekends. As well, if Ghost ever does any show over the weekends, that too covers it. So yes, and that's about it, guys. I just want to say happy Taco Tuesday, and make sure to get some tacos out there after this. So yes, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next TCR broadcast. So later, guys, and y'all have a good day.